really, at the end of the day, it's just the matter of a macro market. It's just what happens.
That's why it's really important to have a plan. Have a plan and understand what your goals are.
In fact, my camel out there is suffering right now with a broken back.
So I actually found Pepe when it was only a couple of hours old, and I'm like, oh, this is a funny meme.
Oh my god.
Yo! Who is this DJ?
The old man is swing trading over years at a time. And it's like, that's where the real money is made.
The answer is impermanent loss. With single-sided staking, you don't have to worry about impermanent loss.
If you're aware, if you're disciplined, you can hone that into further financial growth.
Financial freedom, so we can actually live life and not have to be constantly living paycheck to paycheck. I mean, that's the ultimate goal, more or less, right?
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the DGen Roundtable. We are here for a Whiskey Wednesday. I am Zenith, your barkeep for the evening. And I'll say that personally, I am sipping on some Johnny Walker, although this is the very last of the bottle. So with that, I hope everyone else is also having an excellent Wednesday and whatever else is going on in your lives. I am joined by a usual cast of characters here. First off, we got Mr. Will Stevenson. How you doing, brother?
Oh, well, aloha, ladies and gentlemen. I am just cruising through Texas, headed back to my shipping container, which I should be very shortly. But yeah, and when I get there, I'm going to be sipping on bamboo sugar rum, which is delicious. Or no, vanilla rum. That's what it is. It's good stuff. But I can't be drinking now because I'm driving. And that's unlegal. And we don't do unlegal things.
Very true, very true. Good to see you. With that being said, we have another DGen, Nate, Mr. McGettit. How you doing, man?
Doing all right. Having a good time. I actually got off work early today, so I was like, what am I going to do? I don't know. But I was inspired. I was inspired with kind of like the cycles and how they're running. So Mr. doesn't do technical analysis over here was sitting on a chart for hours, like putting lines all over the place and like lining things up with times and all that. And I'm just like, yeah, I think I fried my brain a little bit. So we're good to go. That's the reason. That's the reason why you got this stuff right here. Right.
There you go. The Tito's handle.
It's half gone. Yeah. So
well,
my technical charts are going to do great.
Nice. I know the people have been asking a long time for the Nate and Will Advanced Charting and Market Analysis course.
Oh,
I know Will has put out some of his early materials in the Telegram, so if you're interested in those, you can go find them. Excellent charts, just really top notch. With that being said, we have
a smiley face at the end of it. Will.
Yep.
It always goes up into the right. That's where the happy face is at. Speaking of technical analysis, we have a real technical analyst. We have our very own Agent J. How you doing, man?
Hey, how's it going, fellas? I am doing fantastic. And hey, man. I encourage Nate to learn as much of the TA as possible. It can be a bit overwhelming at first, man, but it's a good skill to have. So, I mean, I'm not the only real TA guy here. As you saw a few episodes ago, Will gave us some very valuable insight on his TA. I think that was actually pretty good.
Occasionally, we drop some value for the folks at home.
Right, Zenith and Josh, they're pretty damn good at TA too. So it's not just me over here, you know. But yeah, I'm good. Hey, guys and gals and audience. Miss Giggles in the chat. Wish her well. She's she's not doing too hot. She's spending a little bit of time in the hospital, but hopefully she's doing okay. So send her best wishes. She did say that our music cut out mid intro, so thank you for that. We'll definitely double check that. That might have been just like a small little hiccup, but yeah, she says music cut off mid intro, but we'll figure that out later on. But other than that, I am doing fantastic. Miss McGettit. Glad to have you on the Whiskey Wednesday stream with us, and not just producing the background. How you doing?
I am doing okay. I'm just drinking water tonight. Just figured I'd come and hang out, though. Have some fun with y'all.
Beautiful. And for anybody joining us for the first time, this is our more casual Ask Me Anything stream. So if you have any questions for any of us in particular or the entire panel at large, feel free to put them in the YouTube comments and we will get to them as quickly as we can. We've got a few other short topics prepared just to touch on before we get into kind of the meat and potatoes of what we're doing with these episodes now, which is opening the stream up to the community to come on and chat and hang out. Definitely a little bit inspired by our friend and mentor RG3 with what he's doing with the F and Hangout. So we're happy to kind of steal some of the ideas and keep them implemented over here as well. With that being said, gentlemen, I have something to share for.
Ooh.
It's a news article, but it's really just a meme. So, Mrs. Producer, if you would do me the honors.
It's not Pocahontas, is it? Oh, okay.
No, it is our good old friend Sam Bankman-Fried. New photos have been released of him in prison. And people have taken the liberty of making comments about what he's been up to inside of prison. So, first one we have from Tiffany Fong. If you remember, she was doing a lot of the trial coverage. Here we have our boy over here looking a little timid in jail. Looks like it might not be suiting him. But then somebody else mentioned that looks like he's already joined the prison gang.
Hey, Z, that animated photo of SBF, he looks like a Mexican rapper, bro.
A little bit, yeah. I mean, that's like the mugshot photo. It's the lineup.
Or he looks like he's about to drop us some reggaeton or something like that, man.
It's something. I don't know. I think it's just so funny though, because it's SBF, and then everyone else is blurred out except for this one dude right next to SBF who's just mean mugging the camera.
I love his faux hawk, man. Look how tall that faux hawk is, man.
Yeah, dude's behind bars, but still keeping it stylish. So
he's got that Stegosaurus faux hawk.
Dude, that was like me in high school.
Yo, same. That was me in high school.
Good for him, man. Maintaining a faux hawk in prison. Commissary is expensive. For those of you guys who have not been to jail before, it is not cheap getting regular people products when you're in jail.
Man.
So shout out to Homeboy keeping that faux hawk. Good for you.
Meanwhile, hopefully they're dragging SBF out into the yard for some weightlifting and putting some meat on them bones, because I gotta say, I think the man's lost some weight, but he hasn't found a way to put weight back on in the better areas yet. So one step at a time.
That's stress, man. That's what that is.
Oh,
hey,
absolutely.
Did you guys hear the other SBF news that's been floating around recently?
What is that, my friend?
So apparently, he might get a lighter sentence than most expected because it seems like the FTX estate is going to be able to make the overwhelming majority of the people they rugged. They're going to be able to give that money back to them. I'm not sure exactly if it's the full amount, but a significant amount of it.
No, I think you're correct. I was seeing some news articles about this recently as well, saying that FTX is looking to pay back a lot of the people that lost money in the exchange going down. But at the same time, it's kind of a weird proposition because the market's moved on significantly since then. So it's like, do you try to give back the exact assets, or do you try to give like a monetary amount in proportion to what the asset was then or what it's now?
I would say, man, if I was the opposing counsel, right, I would demand what the assets are worth now, because what he did was rug all of these people the opportunity cost to make all of that profit. And so I wouldn't make it any easier on Sam whatsoever. So the caveat there is, right, they're considering a lower sentence, but apparently there's a caveat that it had to have happened before he was found out to be scamming people, right? If it happened after the fact, then they have less of a case. So we'll see how this plays out, right? So you would have had to realize that you were committing something really terrible against all of your customers. Somewhere down along the line, you were like, okay, I'm going to try and give these people back their money. You gave some of the money back. And then afterwards, you were found out that you were committing fraud. If that was the case, then you have an argument for a lighter sentence. But because it's after the fact, I'm pretty sure the opposing counsel is going to argue against it. So we'll see what happens, man. But yeah, potential lighter case for Sam. But you know, the Tornado Cash guys, they can't even get a GoFundMe up. Yeah, the GoFundMe, they got rugged in the GoFundMe. They were like, nah, man, you guys like privacy? We can't have you start a GoFundMe here.
Yeah, just for reference, FTX collapsed in November of 2022. So the price of Bitcoin at the time was 21,000, and this news was the event that created the bottom of the bear market when we dropped all the way down to about like 15,000 and change there. that this was the event for that. So theoretically, if you argued that at the time of the collapse you should pay back the assets then, that might be better than where we are now, because we're literally more than double the price as for Bitcoin in particular than we were back then. So just things to consider. All right, thank you for appeasing me, Mrs. Producer. With that being said, I think it's time to... Yeah, we got Boogie up in here. He says, "What's poppin', monkeys?"
Did he just call us monkeys, bro? I think that's a racial slur.
Only Boogie can say that.
Although, you know who he's probably calling monkeys is anybody that doesn't watch streams at 7:30 in the morning, because our boy over here has been... I know the expression is burning the candle on both ends, but like he's doing it on the other end of the workday, which is he's been doing all those early morning streams. So shout out to our man over there.
Freaking Niles walks in too. Apparently he's
Yeah,
offended. Boogie, you offended Niles, man. It's all over.
Go. And then, as always, we do have Tam Tam in the house. We pulled up a few of her comments as well. And then, yep, Colonel Giggles is in here, which, by the way, everybody, we are wishing a swift recovery to Colonel Giggles for the little medical stuff going on. So, not forgetting about our people. That's what we got.
In other news, Jay, Boogie, you, and the Twinkster I hear are getting together for some, what does he call that? Tacos and kimchi?
It's the adobo kimchi and it's adobo kimchi and taco stream, I guess.
Hell yeah!
We have to figure out a better name for that combination of foods, because I'm pretty sure somebody out there.
That sounds kind of gross.
I mean, so kimchi is basically pickled cabbage on a. I would say that would go well on a hard shell taco, and adobo is just usually. So in my country, we usually make chicken or pork adobo. And that's just the adobo seasoning and spices. So I'm pretty sure an adobo taco has been done before. You're just adding a little bit of the Korean spice there with the kimchi. Yeah, the kimchi.
That's the thing. I don't love kimchi. It's not the pickled cabbage. I actually don't mind that at all. It's the spices they put on it. They don't agree with me.
Yeah.
Not a fan of them.
So Miss Magetta is not a big fan of kimchi, so that's understandable.
Oh, it's funny actually. She can't do spices at all, and yet I'm the guy over here who's like blazing sauce from Buffalo Wild Wings as like the normal thing that I put on hot dogs.
That's okay. Yeah, that's okay. That's okay if you don't like kimchi. You're just off the team.
I got some kimchi for you guys right here.
Fucking rough.
Straight from
that was quick.
Straight from Rome.
Yeah, Will's flexing on us with his fine culinary taste there.
Hell yeah.
I gotta say, I think
Soup,
Little
no
Caesars
tie, eating Little Caesars.
I think Little Caesars is the food chain that's handled inflation over the years the best, because I know we all remember the $5 footlong, but those days are very much dead and gone. Although I still think that Little Caesars is holding it down with like a $6.99 pizza, so it's no longer $5 like it used to be, but could be worse.
They're hot, they're ready. That's the only, and they're technically edible. That's like all that they care about.
Yeah, it's true.
Thank you for the technically in there.
Yep.
Jay, Hexagon Lost in Asia, has some words of wisdom on the kimchi debate. Says that fermented just means rotten old dead food.
I mean, technically, most of the things that we eat are dead. So I don't.
Then we're gonna have to send Hexagon Lost in Asia back to the Shadow Zone.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Give me a second. Let me get my millennium ring here, and let me send.
It's okay though. Apparently, I'm being sent there too, so at least you won't be alone, bro.
You're banished to the Shadow Realm, Hexagon Lost in Asia. I wonder, what part of Asia are you in, brother? Like, are you in one of the islands, or are you actually on the mainland?
Said he was in Thailand, or he's traveling through Thailand. I was gonna say, Will, speaking of pizza connoisseurs, we got Gains by Casey up in here, our favorite pizza slinging Hexagon. Good to see you, brother. Thanks for taking time to hop in here.
I want to tell you, Casey, that pizzas are not pies; they're open-faced sandwiches, and you heard it here first. And that's for all you New Yorkers out there. I'm gonna run into the gas station real quick. I can still hear you guys. I just can't talk. I'll be right back.
He's doing the trucker routine. He's got the headset on.
Really quick before we go too far. What did I say, Niles? I thought I said Shadow Realm. Did I say something stupid?
I think you said Shadow Zone. That's okay.
Oopsie.
You're off the team already. So.
You know what, Jay?
Knock off Yu-Gi-Oh! Punishment.
Yeah, we got a copyright. That's why, Niles. Copyright and problems. We got to be careful over here.
It's the great value shadow realm. It's the shadow zone.
Exactly. Perfect.
Niles is saying that you're the one who's banished now, so we'll see. That place might get full up pretty quick.
So Hexagon Lost in Asia is in Thailand. So
that's what it was.
I call it Thailand. That's what I call it, Thailand.
Thailand.
Yeah, he's in the land of the thighs. I was gonna say he's hopped on stream a few times, so we might have a chance to ask him how his travels are going tonight. But like we talked about earlier, this is the AMA stream, so everybody out in the chat, if you have any questions you want to ask us about, throw it down there now. We'll try to get to it when we can. And then as far as stuff we want to talk about, we have a little bit of GameFi. I haven't had a ton of time to talk about the Shrapnel early access event that happened previously. And then I had another topic that I wanted to bounce off of Nate, which is the idea of altcoin seasons, and specifically one of the charts that he found. Like many people out there, we have all confirmed our friendship with Sami, and that theory stems from some of the Twitter posts that I pulled off of his. So we'll get to those in a point. However, for Mr. Will Stevenson, I understand your open-faced sandwich argument for pizza. However, here's something even more tinfoil hat, which is that everything in the world is some variation of a soup.
Yes, you are correct.
So you know what a pizza is? A pizza is a bread bowl.
It's soup.
Ooh. Soup.
Ooh. I like that.
I think people are soup.
The Titanic turned into soup.
Bro, too soon.
It's never too soon. It could have happened 5 minutes ago. I was making 9/11 jokes as the towers were crashing. It is never too soon.
You and all the rest of the military.
Oh yeah. Well, I was too young back then. Maybe that was a bad example. Let me think of something. I'll think of something, but I'm also driving, so my mind is occupied.
Fair enough. So with that said, we do have something to chat about. So Nate, I believe this is our friend Sami, and this is one of the charts.
Zenith, hang on a second. Is he going in and out for anyone else?
Yeah, Zenith, your internet.
Your mic is
Let's
choppy.
try it again. Are we
there
back?
We go.
Hey,
yep. Can you turn up the gain a bit, Zenith? You're coming in a bit low.
You got it, brother.
We do it live.
Any better? Is this better volume? Apologies to the folks at home. We do it live.
And Zenith, one other thing before you start, can you possibly scooch over a little bit? You're like half on screen. I don't know if you can see. Your head is kind of getting cut off over there. Other way.
Wait, what?
In the little window. Oh, maybe it's just me then. Okay, never mind. Go ahead.
I was going to say, I looked it on my screen, but okay. All right, here's what we got. If you have been watching Sami, one of the things he's been talking about is a potential altcoin season coming up here soon. My general understanding of the idea here is that the way that markets work is that Bitcoin is the first mover. It moves first and hardest, or not hardest, so to speak, but it moves first and more than all the others. And then everything else kind of plays catch up a little bit later and catches up very rapidly. So you see a lot more aggressive charts. And the most recent thing that we're looking at is, of course, the Bitcoin halving. If you've been around here for a hot minute, you know that we've been talking about this non-stop. Well, especially me in particular. So general idea is that when we have our Bitcoin halving, the run right before that, typically the altcoins are also going to have some of that nice gains as well, as just a fact of Hart's Law or liquidity bonding, so to speak. So Nate, can you give us your insight as to what you see here? What do the numbers mean, Mason?
Okay, so basically what we're looking at is the first box in all three instances is basically kind of like you might want to call it like a fake rally, so to say, or like just a small pump. I would say it's people finally saying, "Oh, we are so back," and then something happens. More than likely, it's some sort of black swan event. Which in the case of the 2021, it was 2020. That was the C19 zombie virus. And then in our case here, now I'm not sure. I'm still trying to put this together. That's actually what I was doing when I got home today early, and I was spending time on the charts. I was looking through a lot of different things, comparing, but I get the feeling that the Fed pivot is going to be this particular time, right? where all of a sudden we're going to get those big red candles and it's going down again. But this is the overall. Most importantly, we're excluding Ethereum, right? Because with Ethereum comes most liquidity bonding, which raises all things. But if you're going to look at the total market cap for what tends to run, and like when people start pumping out of Ethereum down into alts, this is what we want to be looking at right here, right? And so with these first ones, it's kind of like it's a little bit of a hope rally, like, hey, we're back, and all of a sudden, oh, never mind, it's all going to zero. But then Ethereum, I think this is right around when Ethereum starts really taking off, because Bitcoin then releases into Ethereum, and then people start being like, oh, Ethereum's taking off, yay, cool, I can take those profits and now I can put it into other alts, and then moving them down into other alts, we're seeing what we see here on this chart. And as you can see, every single time so far, it's been a hell of a pump. And I would say the reasoning for this is simply because, I mean, quite frankly, all of the money it's been Bitcoin profits into Ethereum profits, and now it's dropped into lower cap alts, right? So it tends to pump a little bit harder. There's a lot more extra money there.
Yeah, that makes sense. And then real quick, just for some context, the chart that we are looking at here is we're looking at crypto total market cap excluding the top 10 coin, and it's called the dominance. So this is not a chart specifically talking about like market cap, pure dollar value. This is a percentage chart. So this is saying of the total market cap, what do these coins represent? So basically anything that you're not seeing on this chart would be represented by coins 1 through 10, which is like Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin, all those other things. And then notably, since we are talking about altcoins here, our data really doesn't go back that far, because Bitcoin was made back in 2011, 2012 era. Or at least that's where my data starts on my charts. I know the answer to that. I just don't remember time. So we're looking at the start of 2016 here for our data. So all those big red arrows that we see on the chart, those are the Bitcoin breaks all-time highs, which you might be asking yourself, if Bitcoin is breaking all-time highs, shouldn't the entirety of the chart be higher? And the answer to that is no, partly for two reasons, in my opinion. One of them, mathematically speaking, is that because Bitcoin is breaking all-time highs, it means that, like we talked about before, since Bitcoin moves first, it means that Bitcoin hits highs first, which means it's higher than everything else. So on this chart, what we see is that the relative value of all the other stuff, excluding Bitcoin and the like stuff, it drops heavily. And then also the other half of the story is that when Bitcoin does hit those all-time highs, it immediately course corrects and starts going in the other direction, aka losing value. So I think that's part of the reason why you see such those big spikes immediately after all-time highs on this chart.
And the cool thing about this particular chart is, and you alluded to this a bit, Z, is that it excludes the top 10 tokens within the space, right? Which means you're taking out Bitcoin, which is $1 trillion market cap. You're taking Ethereum, which is about 15% or so of the dominance. And more importantly, you're also taking out the major stable coins. You're taking out Tether, and you're taking out USDC. And there might be a few other stable coins in there. I think DAI is in there as well. So that's important. And so this is actually a good representation of all of the slightly larger, but a lot of the mid to low market cap coins that don't present as much of a dominance as the top 10 tokens within the total market cap. So the question that I want to ask though is, when you see these inflection points, it's the halving altcoin run. Does that occur? Do you know if that occurs before or after the halving?
So it generally,
yeah.
Based on what I was seeing, it tends to occur afterwards.
Okay, gotcha. So we're still not there yet, which is a good sign.
Yeah,
which is a good thing.
Yep,
Cool.
yep. So the original one, the original kind of like the little pump, right? That one occurs either slightly before the halvening, like slightly as in like 2 months, or like immediately after the halvening itself.
Gotcha.
And then it starts running, and then there's a huge dip afterwards.
Gotcha. Did Sami reveal what indicator this was on TradingView? Because I'd like to add it to mine if that's possible.
Yeah, so if you want to look at this chart, there's two ways to look at this chart. The one that we're looking at right now is called the dominance chart. So this is going to give you that percentage view. If you want the raw market cap, like the actual numbers, then you just go to the one that's labeled as the dollar value. Shout out to Crypto Twinkie. He was actually the one that told us about this chart before, because he's building a working theory around total market cap excluding top 10. So if you are on TradingView, all you got to do is go to your search function, click on the crypto tab, and then just type in others, and then you're going to see those two charts pop up. It's crypto total market cap excluding dominance, or the same thing but top 10 $. Gotcha. $sign will give you the raw numerical value for the market cap, which, by the way, that is sitting at about $228 billion. Our total crypto market cap right now, if I'm not mistaken, is
just above 2 trillion, I think.
Just above 2 trillion, which means that this chart is showing roughly 10% of the market from like just a pure monetary standpoint.
Yeah, makes sense. It says right there, actually, I think I see it's like 12% on the right hand side. It's small, but you can tell. You can tell. I think it's a 1-2. It's about 12%.
Yeah, for sure. And then if we do want to look at this chart, it looks like back in the beginning of 2016, we saw that this entire sector of the market was really only about like 1% of the total crypto market cap. And then over the cycles during 2017 all-time high, we saw the altcoins get up to 12%. And this last time we saw the altcoins get up to 19.5%. So, I mean, 2 data points is technically enough to draw a line, which would mean that this next bull run, we could possibly see that the altcoins exceed 20%, or maybe even get up to like 25, 30% of total market cap.
Yeah, so here's my thinking. Like, Twinkie, are you in like, are you watching us right now? Like, because if you are, man, you need to hop on and talk about this, because you were the one who originally like brought this up to us and was like, whoa, that was a little bit different. So yeah, we would love to get you on, man.
I like this actually better. So I track a very similar metric to this. That one's total 3. So total 3 is so the total market cap of crypto, less Ethereum and less Bitcoin, right? But the total 3 includes stables, which I do not like. So I actually like this one a lot better because it excludes the top 10 tokens by market cap from the dominance equation. So this actually gives you a much better representation of your lower to mid to micro cap altcoins. So yeah, I really like this. So shout out to Twinkie for dropping this on our chat.
Definitely.
Really good indicator.
The other Salami post I wanted to highlight was he was talking about Bitcoin halving data, saying 2012 the halving was at 68% below all-time highs. For 2016, we were 50% below all-time highs. 2020 was 57%, but I believe that was also impacted by our Black Swan event of the year. And then right now, he's saying that we're only 24% below all-time highs. So note that if Bitcoin does go back to $35,000 in April, then that means that we would be right around that window again of about 50% below all-time highs.
I don't think it's happening, but I know the Bears wish it'll happen.
Oh yeah, I mean everyone wants to buy cheap Bitcoin because we know it used to be cheaper and it's more expensive now. But fortunately, can't go back in time. Yeah. You can only just act in the moment or wait for the future. But even then, you're just going to be waiting, and chances are prices are probably going to be higher.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't
even need a crystal ball to see that one.
I think the Bears wish that we were back at $35,000 Bitcoin, and hey, some of us probably wish that too, because like you said, we want to buy a lot lower prices, right? But yeah, man, the technicals just don't favor the bearish scenario right now. But hey, if it happens, I also have a plan. So
Jay, you're too much of a bull.
Either way, I will be winning. So
bad at all. I will say I have. Sorry, another screen to share, a different one. My trading view. So this is probably something similar that people have seen, which is looking at the halving dates and a year before and after them. And it looks like a pretty clear picture to me, which is that even if we get a bit of a drop, like Jay is saying, the technicals are showing that we're probably not going to drop that much. So, for example, I excluded the 2020 market because of our Black Swan event, obviously. But even going back to the 2016 era, after we had the halving here, we had that small dip. That change in price really only was about 28%. So even if we went down like 30% from 50,000, that's $15,000. So yeah, that would put us at the 35,000 range. However, at the same time, diminishing gains and diminishing returns as we move into the future. That was 2 cycles ago. So the cycle now might look entirely different. However, it's I don't know. It's easy to draw the imaginary candles on the chart, but at the same time, like having the high and low case makes sense. So having a big drop of about like 30% down to that 25,000, not crazy.
Well, here's the thing that why I push back so heavily on this. We're gonna go back to $30,000 Bitcoin, right? You have to take the market into context on where it is now. When you take into consideration where those big dips in price occurred before the halving, right? They occurred during the macro wave 2 of that 4-year cycle, right? We've already had our macro wave 2 dip. We are in the bullish wave 3 phase of the cycle currently, right? So you have to take into consideration at what point in the Elliott wave cycle we are, where we are in terms of like the time, right? And you also have to take into consideration the amount of new players and people that we have now in the market. The reason why we had such major dips 3 cycles ago is there was a lot less liquidity in the market. There was a lot more players, which means price volatility. Well, price was a lot more volatile during that time. It's not the same. We're not in the same market anymore, right? There's a ton more liquidity here. Like from a time and trend-based perspective, we're certainly not in that wave 2 anymore. And so, yeah, you have to take all of these things into consideration when you are creating these potential scenarios, right? Both the bearish and the bullish case. So yeah, that's why I have such big pushback on this like narrative about we're gonna go back to $30,000. Like, bro, is it possible? Yes, but probable? No.
Fair. Will, Nate, thoughts on halvening data?
See, here's the thing that I was thinking about was originally with going back to the alt chart and everything. What I'm looking for is when the alts are going to pop and then when to cash out, right? I think one of the best indicators for us, you know, trying to figure out like when abouts you want to cash out, when the tops are going to be that chart. And if you can really like kind of crank it down on that chart, I think that'll be the best idea. But that's just me.
Fair. Very fair. Good with the charts, gentlemen.
Yeah. But yeah, we'll see, man. There's one scenario that I have in my head that could potentially lead to that big dip, but again, it's like one super bearish scenario out of all of the other bullish scenarios, bro.
That's fair. Although I did get a bit of a I'm not going to call it a top indicator, but I did get an indicator when I was at the gym yesterday, which is I went with my buddy and we were just doing our normal bench press routine. And my ears picked up 2 people chatting in the corner about trading Bitcoin and altcoins. And then I think I may have heard the most degenerate thing I've ever seen in my life, which is that they were day trading using a 2-minute chart and overbought and oversold signals on altcoins.
Fantastic.
Like
sooner or later.
Buy our bags, buddy.
Good for them.
Day trading.
Like, I know we joke,
chart, bro.
We joke and say that the 4-hour chart is us getting extra degen, but like, dear God.
Yeah. I mean, I've gone as low as the 5-minute chart, bro. But that's by virtue of Elliott wave counting, right? Counting the subwaves. I'm not day trading at those time frames, bro. I'm looking at it purely for the data. Not for trading.
I don't even know if the data is good at that time frame. It's so low that depending where you get your data input and where you're measuring on like which exchanges or whatever, your data can be drastically different on that tiny of a chart and that tiny of a candle.
That's a good point. Depending on what exchange or DEX you're pulling that data from, you could have all sorts of different things, right?
Oh yeah. Wild. Absolutely.
I'm just saying, if you guys aren't using Bollinger Bands on the 1 second, then you're doing it wrong.
Look,
This
I
isn't a
paid
meme
for-
coin, Will.
I paid
Oh
for
my
trading
God.
view on the Black Friday sale, and I don't even think I have a good enough package to get the 1 second scale. So that might just be you, brother.
You got it. You can do it
Oh,
on Deck
man.
Screener. You can go to the 1 second.
Yeah, you can do it on Deck Screener.
Easy
Yeah.
peasy.
Yeah, Deck Screener has it. Yeah, I love Deck Screener, man. The
I
only
haven't
thing
paid
is,
shit for Deck Screener.
you do? They have a paid thing for Deck Screener?
Yeah.
No, Will
Yeah, they
saying
do.
he's
I mean, I
not
paid
it
to
all.
get. No, I paid Deck Screener to list the DGen Roundtable coin and give it a logo and
Oh.
stuff. I did that.
I got
Hell
you.
yeah.
I got you.
You bet your sweet
like,
ass.
Philanthropy.
I'm the By the way, for the folks at home, I'm the reason that the DGen Roundtable has a logo on Deck Screener. Woohoo! Also, Mrs. McGettit,
sir.
thank you for your artwork. You did a very good job creating that little thumbnail for us.
Yeah.
So thank you for that.
That one wasn't
but-
me, but thank you.
Yeah, it was. You made that.
Which one? The one that you put up on the deck screener?
Yeah, it's a little. Well, I mean, I changed it a little bit, but I asked you a long time ago to take like a still shot of like our little intro. You know how it does the blue shapes and stuff when it says DGen Roundtable, and then you edit it all
Yeah.
nice. Like, because the one that I did, it was like super grainy and disgusting, but you got a really good version of it. So,
Gotcha.
oh, excuse
Well,
me,
I did
that was
edit
all
it,
Miss
but I did
McGettit.
not make that. It was that's a Canva thing. You can just get it on
Okay. Yes, you took the thing that I found that was ugly and you made it pretty. So there we go.
there. Okay, there we go.
Gee,
That works.
I would have just taken the credit, man.
Yep, there you go.
No, 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 no. I'm not going to do that.
Whatever works.
I was like, yeah, man, that was all me. Give me more compliments.
100%. It was a collaboration between Brian Boitano and Agent Jay Schroth.
Russ has a good
Go.
question here.
We have from Russ.
So there's a block rate, and he asked that, does that matter? Yes, it does matter, Russ, because the block rate is variable. So it's we have estimates on when the halving block rate is going to occur, but that is going to depend heavily on how fast the miners can solve the problems that they're trying to solve. So yeah, that's a variable, my friend. It's just an estimate. So
That
but
is an
the
excellent
current
question,
estimates-
though.
yeah, it's a very excellent question. So current estimates right now, anywhere between April 15th to like around the 20th. So we'll see. The closer we get to that date, the more accurate our estimates are going to become. So
Yeah,
looks
so
like we got
to-
a big baller back in the chat.
Real quick, I want to finish up this question. So, Russ, the reason that the Bitcoin block timing changes is because the goal is to always have it at 600 seconds or 10 minutes effectively. And then there's another thing that you might have seen, which is Bitcoin difficulty or the mining difficulty. This is something that's kind of like algorithmically set through the blockchain, which is that if there's so many people in the network, it means that the blocks are able to get solved faster. So what the algorithm does is it makes it harder to solve it to try to keep it back at that 10-minute mark, because otherwise we are going to start getting shorter and shorter blocks, and having a set based on the number of block that is happening, not on a set date. So that's why that's going on there.
Yep.
Sorry to interrupt. Jay, we have something important here. What do we got?
Yeah. Big ballers back in the chat. Antoine.
Big baller.
Oh, it looks like Antoine. I see TRW. Did Antoine, are you in the real world, bro? That's pretty cool. Back with the boys. Let's get these super chats going wild for all the free juicy info, my fellow DGens. Thanks again, gentlemen, for all you do. Thank you, sir, for the kind words and the $99 super chat. Always welcome. But yeah, brother, we try to provide as much free and valuable info as we can, and we certainly do appreciate the support, no matter what the dollar amount, right? But $99 is a good amount.
Yeah, thank you a lot. We really appreciate all the support. Now that we've had the super chats live, it has been the ride keeps getting more wild every day. I'll say that much.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but I don't know. Maybe Antoine can help contribute to my fund of Save the Computer. These are some dead bits that I have to fix. So
yeah, Z's computer just completely died on him the other day. I'm surprised you got it back up running that quickly, bro. Freaking whiz.
I mean, it took me like 3-4 days. I'm not gonna lie. So part of the reason I wasn't here on Sunday was because computer tried to off itself. At first, it was the M.2 drive that decided that it really just enjoys corrupting my Windows file. So that's much appreciated.
Ah,
And then
those
after
damn
that-
M.2s. Bastards.
It's the cost of having a boot up time of about 2 seconds.
Shit.
You got to pay for that, and then
Yeah,
this
you
thing
missed
decided
out,
to throw
man. It was a
thing
fun
threw a
Sunday
bearing.
stream.
That looks like a
Blew
buzzsaw
bearing?
from
Holy
Borderlands.
smokes.
All right, what do we
Kind
got
of.
up next on the dock, Zenith?
So
Well,
we
we
are.
have-
Oh God, Antoine! No, I was kidding. Jesus Christ!
This guy, bro.
Computer
What's he
fun.
doing? Oh shit! Hang on, I got chats now. I have chat ability. Let me check the chats.
Bruh.
Well,
Antoine, we certainly
much
appreciate it,
appreciated, my friend.
but
Holy shit! God
That's
damn
good.
right.
That's going
Sense of
straight.
this.
That's going straight to
It's
Zenith.
like-
I swear,
you-
that's going straight
like,
to Zenith.
Antoine, so I am certainly not going to discourage you donating, but I will encourage you to like donate a smaller amounts or like spread out your.
Don't listen to him, Antoine. Don't you
He's
listen to
balling.
this communist swine.
I'm saying spread out your donations to several episodes so it looks better. But when people come and see, like, oh wow, look, they got people donating.
Look what you made Will do.
I dropped my coin.
But thank you, sir. This guy's too kind, bro. So
Got it.
Oh man,
sweat.
the support, man.
we have a
It's so
fantastic
amazing how you
community.
guys just support us like that. This chat is undefeated. I swear, you guys are just the best.
This is
Speaking of
fantastic.
speaking of the community. Oh, okay.
This bro.
All right.
There's your
Bro.
answer, Jay.
I swear, like, I don't know if Antoine got like kids or like one of his kids got a hold of his phone and they're just like,
Got a hold of mommy's credit card.
bro, I've heard. So there was a story I was speaking. I remember. Nate was complaining about. He was ranting on Ran earlier. I was watching Banter earlier, and Ran was telling the story about one of his kids fat fingered one of his trades, and he lost a ton of money because one of his kids fat fingered the trades. And I'm wondering if that's what's happening to Antoine. But bro, really, man, thank you. We're not joking when we say we definitely appreciate all of your donations, bro. It's like this is crazy, dude.
Yeah, I'll
I think
put it this way.
Antoine
You
collectively
basically just
donated like almost $1,000 to the chat. Like, bro,
Antoine's a fucking G, guys. I don't know if y'all know. Y'all gotta go. Yeah, I'm for real. Y'all gotta go fucking meet this cat.
dude, we're very much looking forward to it, and definitely want to see if we can host our own annual DGen Roundtable event. We just got to figure out where we want to do it. Right now, the leading option is Miami, I think. So
We have to go to Miami, man, because Miami is like Brendan down there really knows his way around, and then like Antoine's gonna be down there and everything. Like, come on, man, it's gonna be way too much fun.
sure, I just know it's I think most of us don't live in Florida, so it's just a bit of a trek, is all. And then
I'm a little bit the opposite.
the community's all over the place, so if there was a way that we could get everybody together for a good event, that'd be great. I mean, I don't want to hijack anybody else's event, but having other people organize stuff is a good excuse to have a little something on the side as well. I'm not gonna lie.
yeah, for sure. All right, what we got next? What's the next fun topic?
Next fun topic is anything the chat throws us. Otherwise, we are gonna start bringing people on. How we feeling?
Let's do it.
I see
I am
someone
ready.
in the private chats.
Yeah,
All
yeah.
right.
You guys might want to be checking the private chats.
Yep. Sorry, guys.
Definitely
No guns on YouTube, especially if it's double guns. A gun with an underbarrel trebuchet that is not YouTube friendly. So
Yeah, nothing that can launch 30 kilogram projectiles over 300 meters at a time.
Holy
Mhm.
shit, that's wild. Yeah, do you want to tell the story of your suit? Like, why? Because we've had people talking about
Yes.
you now about like, why are you so dressed up? Why are you so dressed up?
well,
Yeah, how come
you
that's-
see,
Will, how
You
come that
see,
suit doesn't
guys.
have a bad idea print on it? I don't understand.
so
Jay's
there I
not wrong.
was.
This is an odd
chilling
wardrobe
in my shipping container last night when I get a call from my good friend Isaac, who also hangs out over here in Dallas. Shout out to Isaac if you're watching right now. I sent him links to this stuff. He was thinking about hopping on the stream with us, but he's an old friend of mine from the Marine Corps. We actually went to boot camp together long ago, back in like 2011 when I went to boot camp. Anyways, all that's not important. But he calls
not
me
to
up.
interrupt, but maybe
Yeah.
we should keep it a secret because we got so much speculation going right now. I don't want to ruin the surprise.
I do like speculation. Well, I will say this. I was planning on doing some very degenerate things tonight, and they got stonewalled because my buddy couldn't meet up. So you guys get to see me all nice and fancy like. Good thinking.
We'll
This is
reveal it at the end of the stream. Keep guessing, guys. I want to see all these guesses.
Yeah, there we go. I'll tell you what. We gotta strike a. Let's make a deal. Let's talk bribes, ladies and gentlemen. If I get 69 ones in the chat, actually, shit, I don't want to count that. That's a lot of fucking ones to count. No, let me think.
No, Will wants 5,155 ones.
Oh man,
Watch
no,
wrestling
dude, I so badly don't. Here's the thing: is I wanna get the audience to earn it, but I don't know how to get them to earn it. I'll tell you what. At the end of this episode, during wrap up, I will tell you guys. Tell you guys what kind of silliness is going to go on.
Yeah, so that's how they earn it. They got to stay.
There you go.
Well, who's got the better comparison? Alan says he looks like the CEO of Safe Moon, or No Money Mike says the transport. He's the great value Jason Statham and the great value Andrew Tate.
Great value Tate.
Yo.
You guys are wild, man.
Mm-hmm.
The chat's crazy.
This is good. Yeah, they don't often see me in anything other than a Bad Idea t-shirt. So
I've never seen in anything else, man.
I'll undo one more button for you guys. You guys get 3 buttons down. There we go.
Bro, I fully expected Will's suits and shirts to also have the Bad Idea print on it.
Here's what I tell you what. I'm gonna disappear. I'm gonna disappear behind my green screen for a moment, and let's see.
Wonder what he's doing.
I love the Cobra playing the sax.
Ooh, ladies.
Suspicion and Mystique and Mysterio. We have don't we? We have a guest ready to speak though. Whilst I am back here fucking around, don't we?
That we do. Let's get our boy on here. If you've seen the channel for a hot minute, you probably know who this is. And if you've been watching the stream, you also know who this is. So, Mrs. Producer, it is our boy. He goes by Sounds by Sino, but you might know him by a different name. Niles, what's up, brother?
My man.
What is good? My favorite degenerate monkeys. Can you guys hear me?
Yes, we can. Based on your subtitle, it seems like you have a message for a certain somebody out in the chat.
Maybe a little someone.
As I am not a monkey.
As the resident black person on the panel, I denounce that statement from Boogie. I reject that. I am not a monkey.
Niles,
not funny.
I'm sorry to break your bubble, brother, but Will Stevenson is the resident black guy of the panel. I don't know what you're talking about.
All right, guys. Here's my.
Now
here's my special.
He's barely even caramel. He's barely even caramel.
Dude, the running joke for the longest time was that they all thought I was like a quarter black or something. I'm white, guys. Like for those of you that don't know,
half black.
Nah, man, I am 100. I'm like French, German, Irish, like British, something. In fact, fun story. Not to dox myself too much here, but both of my grandparents on my mother's side were from Germany in the 1930s, from opposite sides of the playing field. And so that was quite an interesting little Romeo and Juliet story that I found out about not too long ago. So cheers to my grandparents for setting aside their differences and coming to America, land of the free and home of the brave.
So what Will basically said, he's just a combination. He's a combination of all the different master races. So definitely white.
Oh boy. Oh boy, man! I should have gone out. All right, so for those of you that can't see, I am wearing my fancy schmancy pin. That is courtesy of
lapel pin, classy.
I want to say it's courtesy of Hex Toys. I'm pretty sure. Oh shit, it's green.
That's
so you guys can't. Hang on, let me turn off my green screen.
Oh, is it blending in the green screen?
Yeah, it is. Hang on. Let me turn that off real quick.
But then we're gonna lose the snake playing saxophone.
No background color. Okay, there you go. Now you guys can see my incentive token.
Oh,
that's dope.
Right there on my jacket.
So
I've got all the pins. I don't have a pulse chain pin. I couldn't find one for whatever reason, but I want to say it was Hex Toys. So big shout out to Hex Toys for holy shit, Antoine again with these super chats. My God, man. Bro is lighting up the chat. I love it. I don't
Yeah,
know
bro.
if I'm seeing okay, yeah, I'm seeing old chats. My God, no. I didn't know that he did it 3 fucking times.
He did it 3
Bro,
times,
what a
bro.
G. What a G.
Gotta catch up on your chats, man.
Yes, I do. I hadn't scrolled it all. All right.
Yo,
let me
he said Antoine got something for Will and Niles. He says, "Yeah, both creamer than cream." Antoine, we know what you want to say, bro. Say it with your chest, bro. Say it with your chest, bro. We know what you want to say, bro.
Oh my God.
It's okay, bro. You're from Jersey, man. You get a pass, bro.
Yep.
I think that Jay is probably the darkest guy on the panel, but I am still the blackest.
Those
Half. Nobody's got greater than 50% here, so I'm honoring.
Oh gosh.
You say, well, with all the time in Texas, I thought the tan would at least be better.
Oh, yep. You're right. It has been winter though, man. It's been a strange winter down here, bro. It like snowed, and now it's fucking hot as shit again. Like I was out in shorts and fucking like t-shirt earlier today after basically freezing my ass off at night. Bro, it doesn't make any fucking sense over here. I don't know who started this Texas weather thing, but they be crazy, my ninjas. Nah, I can't say it. It ain't gonna work.
Calm down.
Oh, not happening.
Alan
That's
has a cool
okay.
comment in the chat. He says, "Will is our incentive Tolkien." So we know what he's a fan of.
Oh my dude, Tolkien!
That's
I
pretty
believe
dope.
that Tolkien wore these same like patterned, because this is a wool jacket. This is from Mexico, but yeah, dude. Oh man, thank you, man. That is some high praise, being compared against one of my favorite authors of all time. So shout out to you, Alain Fizame.
You might be a decent author, but I'm more than happy to throw a grenade in this metaphorical room, which is that I think the movies are trash.
You're allowed to think that, and you're also allowed to get the fuck out of here.
Another one for the Shadow Realm.
Look, I'm just hear me out. Fellowship of the Ring. I'm not saying it's the greatest movie. It has good ideas and interesting themes, and then after that, it kind of just goes down the popcorn movie route. What I'm saying.
That's what makes it so great, man. It's the popcorn movie, you know.
No, it's not a
I
popcorn
mean, I get
movie
it, man. Somebody who's read
any scene with Sam and Frodo is some of the most unbearable stuff to watch, which unfortunately is like the main
Alan said
point
it
of the
best.
story. Someone mutes.
we need this. We need the soundbite, bro. We gotta get Mr. Producer Chocolate Tate to add the soundbite of Maximilian Pegasus banning somebody to the Shadow Realm, so that every single time something like this happens, we could banish somebody to the Shadow Realm, man. That is unacceptable. Although it's fair, bro. It's anybody who's ever read the books, like they always have a gripe with the film. So it's like I can't give Z too much shit.
Yeah,
for
that happens with just about any franchise out there. So
yep, precisely.
This is true.
But anyways,
I'll absolutely give the movies some of their props though, as far as like special effects and CGI stuff goes, because they use the blended
Practical
stuff with
effects,
the practical effects and CGI stuff. All that stuff, I literally rewatched the entire trilogy like twice and took notes on it to have a small lengthy debate with a friend like this last year. So I have a notepad full of my notes somewhere I can find one day. But it's like
small lengthy.
Everything holds up. Like the CGI looks good. I remember specifically like when you see the
this was
Balrog.
like a journey for you. You're ready for
CGI.
this.
Dude, the Balrog looks good by 2023, 2024 standards. That's all I'm saying.
Yep.
See, this is what happens when us children get into a room together and start talking. We just get a bunch of degenerate downward spiral talkings and stuff.
Well, I mean, aside of that, are we going to talk about my
Is this
new
a
thoughts
crypto
on
podcast?
Chainsaw?
Am I in the wrong place right now?
No, dude,
Maybe.
you're in the absolute right place. Yo, Niles, or excuse me, not Niles, Sino. What's up, bro? Wait, Niles.
What is good,
Hold on.
That is him, bro.
I'm looking in the private chat and I'm getting all confused because I see Sounds by Sino on your name, and then I see Niles in the private chat, and I'm like, wait a minute.
Will, they're
what
the
the
same
hell's going on
person.
here? Yes.
It's
I'm
fine.
realizing this now.
Because Niles is also a
we've come-
producer, Will.
We've come full circle. All right, listen here.
Will, this
Will,
is
Will,
like a
what are you
little
drinking?
Gollum thing.
Will, what is that you're sipping on, brother?
I am sipping on Bumbu rum, and I'm not sponsored by Bumbu, but they're awesome. The only thing that I don't like about Bumbu is their fucking corks break really easy, And so the goddamn cork ripped in half. And so part of the cork is just fucking sitting in the rum. And so I'm just sipping on this bamboo rum with half the cork floating around in the bottle and the other half sitting here in my hand. But yeah,
I mean,
this is bamboo rum. It's quite good. It's vanilla rum from Barbados. So shout out to Walter Weeks and the rest of the crew from Barbados. What's that?
Demandum.
Yeah, exactly.
Nate, what are you sipping on, Nate?
I'm sipping on my lovely vodka.
Vodka.
Oops, sorry, wrong. There we go. Yep.
Ah, yes, the vodka. Okay.
He just has the handle. It's the staple for Nate, I think.
It's so we definitely.
As you can see,
are you trying to kill yourself?
Crazy tonight. I'm turning up organic, guys.
Ooh.
Oh, he's fancy.
It's gonna be a good night.
Not only am I sipping on some magical bamboo rum, but I'm also drinking Dayquil.
Is Will just drinking lean
why
on the
not?
stream?
He's got
He's
that
got
lean in that right.
Jolly Ranchers in that Dayquil for sure.
See everybody.
Somebody play some Juicy J for Will, bro.
Somebody
Play some
stop
Juicy J
me.
for
I'm
Will,
gonna
bro.
drink everything in this fucking container.
He's got that zip in that double cup, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Niles, here's a question for you. So, come the top of the bull market, are you going to be drinking anything different, or is it going to be the same coconut water?
It'll probably be like coconut water with diamonds in it or something.
Ooh,
no, I don't drink, so
coconut Goldschlager.
Yeah, it'll
I
be.
was going to say it's the Goldschlager of South Africa.
Yep.
Yeah.
Wait, so that means during the meetup, then we have to get Niles a bunch of shots. See what he's like drunk. Got to do it, man.
Okay, Niles,
that peer pressure is not going to work.
We'll do this back to back. Like we'll fight off everybody trying to give us shots, bro. It's you and me DD.
Jay's about 100 times harder for you.
if I
with
catch
Brendan and me around.
I might take one shot with the degens, but that's about as degenerate as I'm gonna get.
I'll take one shot. I'll take one shot.
Okay, so here's what we're doing. We're getting both of you. Then you're both gonna take a shot, and we're gonna film it. And then me and Brendan are gonna be on either side. Maybe have like Will and Josh over there as well. And we're just gonna be like, drink.
Bro, Sax got a dope comment. Mrs. Producer, can we pull that up? That's a really nice idea. Anyone else at the round table petitioning Sloth to make them a grill at market? I don't know if that's a service that Sloth provides, but if he does, that would be fantastic.
Bro, if there's anyone
that would be fantastic.
Trust my teeth to, it would definitely be Crypto Sloth.
A pulse chain and a hex colored grill.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
That might be a bit loud.
Could you imagine walking around like that? Just oh
Alan.
god, you blind people every time you smile at them.
Pull Alan's comment up real quick.
Police.
Are those the shots you were looking for?
No, I mean, I hope not. I know we are. I know a lot of us here are slightly colored, but we're not that colored, bro.
I'm not black at a distance, so
exactly.
All two of you.
At a distance, we still kind of look light skinned, bro.
Was it Key and Peele that had the sketch where people have the hoodie that when you flip up the hood, it has a picture of a white guy on the side?
Oh my god,
that's probably Key and Peele, bro. That's probably
that sounds about right.
It's pretty much all their jokes.
It's like the Family Guy skit where he gets pulled over and the officer pulls out the color gradient. I definitely passed that, so I'm good. I think we all pass it, so we'll be all right.
we are so getting canceled.
It's a good time.
And demonetized.
We can't get canceled.
Yeah, we had it long enough. I guess that solves Antoine throwing more money at us. So
here's why we can't
month
get
is
canceled,
good enough for us.
This is so
I mean, I'm not gonna lie. Antoine paid the bills for the rest of the year effectively. So
Antoine, thank you so much, bro. What a fucking G.
He's over here keeping the lights on for us.
Go say hello to Antoine down nearby Miami and go hang out with that motherfucker because holy smokes, what a cool guy.
Well, hey, guys, here's the reason why we can't get canceled, okay? I mean, just look at this panel. We have a female. We have an immigrant who's also dark-skinned. And we have two other black guys on the stream. So, like, we cross off so many intersectional boxes. It's like, it's not, like, they can't cancel us, man. Oh,
I'll put it
I-
this
I
way.
now we got a
heard-
third black guy, and we got another immigrant because this black guy's from space.
I'll put it this way.
Oh, there's a movie.
Come
about
on now.
that.
This is some Jinx stuff going on over here.
Intergalactic inclusivity going on.
Exactly. Interspecies.
Yeah, Jay's right. We're like untouchable at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Might not count for much, but I'm technically Native American enough to get a little bit of free college.
Nah, we ain't having it. No,
Oh, it doesn't count. It's not cool now.
I feel bad. I'm just a Viking and an Irishman, so I'm about as cancelable as possible.
He's technically still an immigrant. Technically still
right.
an immigrant.
If you guys want to learn about diversity with amongst the stars, then you need to go to Google and you need to type in African American space movie 1992, and that will give you a chuckle or two.
Is that
This is from my old
movie?
Is that about how black people wound up in America or nah?
African American space movie 1992.
Oh
I mean,
my
I
God.
was. I mean,
I'll put it this way: I cannot say the name of this movie on stream without us getting most likely demonetized.
This is an old 4chan trick, by the way. It's for
bro.
I can't remember what the thread was, but somebody was making a big stink about diversity, inclusivity, and equity and stuff, and somebody like said Google these words, and just fucking. So it's a parody, right? For those of you out there who are gonna get a little bit flustered about this, but yes, this is not YouTube friendly.
I mean, technically
say-
speaking, there's a lot of black folks in space prior to that, right? I mean, Star Trek. I mean, Uhura was black, so
This is true.
I mean, black folks in space way before 1992. So, Hex Glenn, what is going on, my friend? Glad to
Hex
have you join
Glenn,
us, brother.
You tuned in for a hell of a stream.
Yep.
Hey, Will, show Hex Glenn your incentive pin again, bro.
Yes. Hang on. I have to turn off my green screen.
No,
But Hex Glenn.
don't turn off the Lord of the Rings memes. No.
Oh,
no.
dang it, wrong one.
Oh, you reversed it.
I hit the
Bro,
no.
Alan has been like on fire.
Oh yeah, no. Alan's always
at
killing
that.
it in the chat.
I'm
With
pretty
the
sure this
incentive-
is courtesy of Hex Toys. I'm almost positive this comes from Hex Toys.
Yeah, there's a few.
lapel.
Let me Google them.
Hex Toys has a potentially dangerous website name if you are fond of fat fingering things.
Yes, it is.
Why the hell did I
Yeah.
not think of that until you brought it up?
Well, who knows?
Hang on,
Maybe
I gotta find him on Twitter.
maybe you were gonna go to that site next anyway. So
Yeah, thanks for putting that thought in my head, Zenith.
What? Hey, whoa.
Oh, it's hex.toys. That's what it is. Store.hex.toys. Yep.
Yeah, I
that's
know
the
this
one.
is one of the couple sites for pulse chains and hexagons that want to get merch. I want to say, was it Fashion Coder or somebody else that runs another shop?
Oh, there's a ton of them, bro. There's a ton of them. Man, I've got a whole bunch. I wish.
bro,
I could
Alan
remember.
you got another fire chat, bro.
Well,
we pull up Alan's super chat. Just regular chat.
Yeah,
most recent
Alan
one?
is.
Yeah,
Yep,
he
that's
got
the one.
Alan says Will got a special hex toy. It goes up and to the right.
Oh,
And sometimes it goes down and to the right too.
If it's real cold out, yeah.
This show has gotten so degenerate. What are we doing here?
Oh, jinkies.
Well, we went off the rails. This is what happens when you get all the TA over with in like the first 30 minutes. We just gotta come up with something.
Oh god.
Oh.
All right,
No,
back
we're
to
just having
Niles,
a good
bro.
time, man.
What-
That's all
what-
we're doing. We're
we
literally
have
just
some questions for Niles.
fucking around with
Niles,
this
what are you up to, bro? What are you watching on the chart? You looking at any new plays? What's going on, bro?
Yeah, I mean, I actually asked if Jay was going to be on the panel just so that I could get his thoughts on this. So I've just been looking at, go ahead.
Let's do it, man.
Yeah. So I've been just checking out like some time-based analysis. I've been looking at the past couple cycles and just how our all-time highs are lining up with or the previous all-time highs are lining up with what we have transpiring this cycle. So if I could I share my screen, gentlemen?
Absolutely, man.
Do it. By the way, we have another member that is perfect for the stream. We got Dre in the chat. What's up, Dre?
My man.
Aloha, Dre.
Glad you can make it for this one.
Dre, this is a very degenerate show. You should get on here with us and make it just the same amount of degeneracy.
Oh, look at that. He's got the pulse chain token, baby.
Oh, cool. Is that made out of gold? Or is that like gold plated?
This is Hex. I
That's
don't
a
know.
hex?
It comes from.
Oh, it is Hex.
Yeah, that's a hex. That's a hex.
Yeah, that's Hex.
Oh, hang on. We got to
Pulse
see
has
that
the
up close.
heartbeat.
Give 1 second here.
Bro, and I don't know if you guys ever took a look at my ring. Oh, snap dizzle. But
Yeah, Will's
I've
got
got
the hex ring.
with
There it is.
got pulse chain on it, and it originally had like a black hexagon right there, but that came out while doing some violent stuff.
Bro is the quad father.
Yo, Will keeps his rings on while he's boxing, bro.
Will, I do have a question for you, which is what percentage of Richard Hart following you do you think is attributed to your Quattro Cinco tattoo?
I would say that most of it. So the reason, my personal, the sequence of events that I observed was, Richard Hart posted, "Hey, what hexagons or what Richard Hart Maximus should I follow?" And then somebody mentioned, somebody said he should only follow dudes with Quattro Cinco tattoos. And then Tam tagged me and said, "Hey, this guy has a Quattro Cinco tattoo and displays it proudly." And then shortly thereafter, Richard Hart followed me. So I believe that a lot of it had to do with that. He might have gone to my profile and seen that I don't post anything. I post basically nothing about cryptocurrency on my Twitter, but it's mostly a lot of self-help stuff and a lot of hey, people, here's where you can find things. Right, but I don't talk about other coins. I don't talk about any coins really, and so I think that had something to do with it. And then I don't know, maybe just some loose association with DJN Roundtable. Also, I had the Hex badge from being a Pulse Chain conference speaker at the time, so that probably helped. But yeah, so I but realistically, it was the fact that David James had said, "Hey, only guys with the Quattro Cinco tattoos should be followed," or whatever, and then Tam shouted me out. So thank you to Tam and thank you to David James for starting what I consider to be the reason that Richard Hart follows me. Now I don't know why. We can speculate all day long, but that's what I think it was.
Paul's got something for you there.
You know, it's interesting. It's like when you see people with monster tattoos, it's like nobody knows who created Monster. But I wonder if people who create tools that other people then choose to use, is that the same thing as being devoted to the person, or is it oh, look at this, I have decided to take a very strong stance towards using this tool or this program or this thing. So I think it's very interesting when I see that people say that sort of thing.
I would personally say that everybody should follow Will for very different reasons, but Will is, I believe, the only one of us that has Richard Hart following him on Twitter. So I do have to say, hats off to you, brother. So,
thank you guys. I mean, I don't, just do some stuff. That's it.
Do cool shit.
Thanks, man.
All right, Niles, what are we looking at here?
Yeah, so I wanted to jump on and just kind of ping pong some ideas off of you. I think that this is a solid panel. We got Z, Nate, and Jay here. So
R.I.P. Will.
Hey, I mean, did you see Will's TA? Will's done TA.
Really?
I have.
Oh yeah.
I have done TA.
Check this out.
Oh no.
Yep.
How can I find Will's TA?
I will send it to you. I will send it to you, Sino. I will tag you in it.
Does he just have horizontal lines at 69K and 420?
I'm not going to spoil it, but I am going to tag you. So go ahead and keep talking your thing whilst I look it up.
I'm excited. But
that's it. What you got, brother?
Yeah, so I mean, I've just been pontificating about some of the possibilities that we could have this cycle. So historically speaking, the Bitcoin all-time high has been between 12 and 18 months after the halving. So I'm thinking about where we could potentially be breaking the all-time high, and if Bitcoin could potentially prematurely ejaculate this cycle. So if I before I jumped on here, I had gone back and slapped a horizontal line on our all-time highs, and I was looking at how long, I believe it's like 200 or so days from the halving to us breaking the all-time high. Let me see this price tool.
Is that on average analysis? That's on average?
Yeah, it was. So we'll call this guy. Yeah, if memory serves, it's like 280 for this one, and then it's like 220 for this bad boy.
And that's days post halving before Bitcoin reaches an all-time high, yeah?
Yeah, this is from the halving to where Bitcoin actually breaks out from the prior all-time high. Right.
Ah, okay.
And so now if I slap that bad boy on 69K, and whoops, bring this one over. So we had like 220, 230 days, 280. So if I put 220 here and put 280 or so, you could potentially guesstimate that the all-time high is reached somewhere around here. Now, this green range right here, this is 12 to 18 months. Like I said, historically speaking, that all-time or the top of the cycle comes between that 12 and 18 month period. So I've got that there, and then I've got this 80 to 100K range, just because I'm a little bit skeptical about how high above that we go. So I just wanted to get your guys' thoughts. Do you think that we are going to have a bit of a dump in this range before we start coming up? Do you think that we maybe double top again? Just because the way that things have been running, we know that past the halving, things start to take off and go exponential. But without any sort of major correction, and that's why I was kind of calling for maybe retracement down to maybe mid 30K or so, like 35K, which we saw a dip briefly down to 38K or so. But if we start going exponential from the halving, we get into this 280, 220 range. So I don't know. It feels like we're running a little bit hot. What do you guys think?
I think
yeah,
you're
I'd agree.
entirely correct,
Retracement
which is
is definitely in store for.
It feels like we're running hot, and I think it's because we are. I don't know if you were watching earlier, but we pulled up one of Sami's tweets where he was saying that previously at the halving, the price of Bitcoin is anywhere between like minus 68 to like minus 50% below all-time highs. Right now, we're sitting at like 25% below all-time highs. So historically, are we running hot right now? Yeah. And if we were going to get that correction down to about that 50% marker, then that means we'd go back down to about 35,000. So
Okay.
real quick, what's the date range that you have here set up for your time profile zone? So it looks like beginning of March and to beginning of September, would that be?
Yep. That's beginning of March to about, oh, they really cut my date off? What's going on there? So yeah, that looks like it's well, yeah, it's robbing me of my timeline. It's like
All right, so here's a question back for you. So we've got these two areas that you've drawn, one of which is the $80,000 to $100,000 price range, and the other is your time-based range, which is March through September. So are you saying that what's the strategy that you're lining up for yourself? Is it either or are you waiting for both of those indicators to hit together?
I would think that I would have to see how things play out a little bit. I need to see a little bit more information in this zone to make that call. Because like I said, I am a little bit skeptical about how high we could go above 100K. I think everybody is fingers crossed for like 120K. That, in my estimation, seems a little bit overly bullish. But basically, as things start to play out from the halving to the end of the year, if it looks like the time-based cycle is going to be intact, then I'm going to lean more into laddering out my portfolio in this range, and I'll lean more into the time-based analysis. If we continue to run hot and we look like we might blow off early, then I might be inclined to at least pull a percentage of my portfolio as we climb towards 80K. So,
yeah. So I have a few thoughts on this, but before that, shout out to our friends at Go Fudge Yourself. I'm not sure if this is Kiara or JD, but if it's both of them, but whoever it is, thank you for joining us. But here's the thing, right? Whether we get super bullish super quickly, right, and we do get that left translated cycle, to be quite honest with you, I don't think it should matter to any of us, quite frankly, right? Because that just means we have to take profit sooner. And regardless of whether we end up with a left or right translated cycle, the on-chain data is going to tell you exactly when those things are going to happen, right? So when we clock the Bitcoin top, right, based on the on-chain metrics that we're tracking, we know that anywhere between 3 to 6 months after, we're still going to get an alt season, right? So even if we do get a left translated cycle, we're still going to be able to take profits. We just have to take it sooner. So I know that, to be quite honest, I don't know why a lot of people are concerned that we're going to have a potential left translated cycle. I think one of the concerns is they believe that a left translated cycle means a very muted price action for Bitcoin and the altcoins. I don't necessarily think so, right? I think people are going to FOMO harder, which might mean we go parabolic super quickly, which means that people are going to take profits a lot quicker. But that doesn't necessarily mean that the price action is going to be muted, right? So whether we get a left or a right translated cycle doesn't really matter to me too much. And so the speculation is good, but it just means that I'm going to take the profit sooner, right? And so it just means pay attention.
Mm-hmm.
That's fair. Jay, to your point, I understand why when people think about a left translated cycle, they think about lower prices. And that's because I think what we've seen a lot with like 60-day cycles in particular is that when you do have a left translated cycle, most of the time it definitely feels like the price kind of pittered out a little bit early. However, it is also possible for a left translated cycle to just be very aggressive early on, so much so that the rest of the cycle just doesn't overcome that initial momentum.
Exactly. You also have to consider the fact that the Ethereum upgrades haven't even been implemented yet, right? The ETH ETFs they're not in the picture quite yet. We don't know the kind of effects that's going to have the market. We don't know if it's going to have the same type of effect as Bitcoin, right? The ETFs for Bitcoin did, or it's going to have a much greater effects in terms of the price action and what that's going to do for the altcoins. So we don't know. There's still a lot of variables that are still not baked into the price action within the market that, I mean, it could certainly change what everybody's predictions of where the current price action is going to go, right? And so I think taking all of these variables into consideration is helpful. But again, right, you have to take what the market gives you.
That's true. That's very true. I got to say, one thing that I've been bouncing around is when we did see the Bitcoin ETFs come out, we did not get a massive boost in price, but instead what we saw was more of a rotation of funds. People were taking profits on Bitcoin because it felt like the news was out, therefore sell the news. So we didn't see an absolute drop in the market cap compared to what we saw was it looked like a shift or a rotation from the capital in Bitcoin to Ethereum. So the question that I'm posing is, if we do get Ethereum ETFs, does the money get rotated to another asset, or do we actually see Ethereum and the rest of the market pump?
Well, see, this has been kind of my theory, right? That's been the question for me. And the question is, okay, what is the case that the Ethereum ETFs is actually bullish for altcoins, right? Why is it that maybe perhaps this cycle we're actually getting an altcoin cycle, right? Where altcoins pump harder than normal? I would say the bullish case on this one is that the normies, the grandpa and grandma's trust fund and all that goes into the ETFs, goes into the Bitcoin ETFs. So all the people who are in the Bitcoin ETFs now are like, oh, cool, well, I could actually go over to this Ethereum thing that technically gives me more X's and is just as safe, right? And so then from there, all the people who are already in crypto being like, well, I'm trying to be safe, but now, I mean, we have all these other people in here who are like the super safe ones. So I'm going to go to the safe altcoins. And then those crypto people are going to start trickling down into altcoins. And that's why I think we're going to have a stronger alt season. It's kind of like the shifting of the risk parity, so to say, right? It's like the people who originally were like this, like the most degenerate I'll go is Ethereum, are like, well, now I'll go into something else as, other people come in.
Yeah, and that's Ethereum ETFs are just going to be bullish for altcoins, right? Especially considering a lot of people trying to fade ETH right now. They say it's dead. They say it's slow. Gas is too expensive. The merge didn't really do much for the gas fees. Like, yeah, when the ETFs get approved for Ethereum, the people that have been trying to fade it are going to have a really bad time, because it's just going to, how we've always compared Ethereum as the Apple App Store of the space, because everybody wants to build on it, right? Just because a bunch of other L1s have had their time in the sun doesn't mean the big daddy of all well, aside from Bitcoin, right, is going to be left in the dust, right? There's a reason why Ethereum, despite the slower price action over the past year, right, all of 2023, it's bled against its Bitcoin pair. It still makes out about 15% of the dominance in market cap, right? If it was really dead, then you would have seen capital rotated out of Ethereum into all these other apps. But the dominance of Ethereum hasn't really changed in relative to the rest of the altcoin space, right? So people that are trying to fade ETH, when the ETFs get approved, they're not gonna have a good time, bro, right? Because I mean, if there's gonna be one ETF that's gonna be approved after Bitcoin, it's going to be Ethereum's, right? It's not going to be XRP. It's not going to be Solana. It's going to be Ethereum. Okay. So I know a lot of these other people are thinking about, oh, when's the XRP ETF coming? Where's the Solana ETF coming, bro? It's not. Those might come later, right? Ethereum's going to come first, especially considering that a lot of these other altcoins have been named by the SEC as securities, and that case is still, that litigation is still ongoing. Okay, so you're not gonna get an ETF for tokens and assets that have ongoing litigation with the SEC regarding their status as a security. So, yeah.
With that being said, we do have someone who's ready to come on. Are you guys ready for him?
Yeah.
No, I'm not ready. Don't do it. Just I know how best I'm ready for things.
What's going on, brothers?
Good to see you, my friend.
Good to see y'all too.
It's great to finally attach a name to a face to
Holy
the name.
shit! It's Pulsex.
You're probably like the second person to ever figure that out. Most people browse right over it. Didn't even realize.
I thought it was either Ballsax or Pulsex. I couldn't figure out which.
Actually, the Europeans struggle saying Pulsex anyway, or Pulsax, and they put it anyway, so they'll say it. So
ball sacks. Excellent.
Yeah.
Well, this is how we welcome new people onto our stream. Is I don't know about you guys, but I take a chug of Tapatio because that's the way to fucking do it.
Wait, what?
Let me get my sriracha.
So welcome. Welcome to the DGen Roundtable, my friend.
I'll join you with the champagne and beers.
Goddamn right.
That's
got
Oh, boy.
favorite.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Got to stay redneck at heart, right?
Hey, Paul. Hey, Paul.
Yes,
I
sir.
drink
Yes,
to
sir.
that.
There you go.
Blood heavy.
Oh
Is this
my
your
gosh.
first time being live, Paul?
No.
Okay.
I commonly go live. Corey Geary and his show on Fridays lines up pretty well. And then
All right. Okay.
I'm over with Randy quite a bit, so over there. Yep.
Oh, Mr. Hilarski?
Yes.
Hell
Very
yeah.
cool.
Him and-
Okay, we gotta catch that
he,
show sometime, man.
Yep.
I think he works with vets in crypto too, doesn't he?
Yes, he does.
On
Yeah.
Sundays?
Yeah, they're trying
Yo.
to kind of unify vets across the world, not just American, but vets from all nations. Just bring them together because they all got common backgrounds, and I think it's a pretty cool concept. What
Hell
they're
yeah,
doing.
dude. I love
Yeah,
it. I'm gonna be on there. I'm gonna be on their show on Monday. Zenith, you should talk to them at some point and see about getting on their show. I would love to do a thing with Zenith, you, Josh, and I, because we're the three veterans of the DGen Roundtable. But hell
Awesome.
yeah, dude. Fucking Randy Hilarski, Paul Sachs. We got Sounds by Sino in the house. We got all these fucking fantastic folks in the chat. We've got these super cool guys commenting on Facebook and commenting on Twitter. I don't know who the hell they are, but they're probably pretty cool people.
No idea.
I have no idea who that Will Stevens on X is.
I just realized that like we're broadcasting live on Facebook and we're also broadcasting live on Twitter in addition to YouTube. So I figured I would go and be the first.
You just realized that?
Yeah.
We've been doing
Yes,
that
I
for like
did.
months.
I was today years old when I learned this about my very own channel, like that I'm a founder of, that I know everything about, of course.
The multi-stream. Yep.
Mhm.
Multi-stream is good. All right,
But yeah,
Paul,
Paul
we
Sachs,
wanna-
what brings you to the? Oh, go ahead, Zenith, take it away.
I was gonna wrap you into the conversation here.
Sure.
Looks like you've been following us. So, any thoughts on the idea of potentially having a bit of a short cycle or a less fantastic cycle for this 4 years?
I was, yeah. I mean, everybody was kind of nervous when we saw November, December, everybody else getting their pump except for us. And then it was like, come on, when are we going to get ours? Maybe, right? Because it's all rotation of the cycle and the money.
Yes,
And now we're starting to see it flow back a little bit out. We need that retracement in Bitcoin. I'm glad it seems like it's maybe starting. I think what Agent J, you were talking about Thursday. Was that about right? Somewhere around Thursday.
Yeah. So right now, because the range low was taken within the smaller time frames, I'm betting a little bit harder to the downside, especially since that Elliott like. So right now, the pattern on the smaller time frame is a flat pattern, right? And it has to have a 3-3-5 subwave structure. So that 5 subwave structure has to play out, otherwise it's invalidated. And right now, I don't think it's going to be invalidated. So yeah, I'm betting a little bit harder on the downside. Is just the severity of the drop is yet to be determined, right? I think we find support at 49,000, right? So prior cycle highs, there's a fib lying there. It's a 382 fib, so it's like I expect support to find some, especially considering, bro, how hard is the bears trying to fight to push it down below 50,000, man?
Right.
Like,
I think I
come on,
glanced. It looked like support was going to come around like 47. If it has find support, I saw 47 earlier. So between there,
it's within that range. So between 49 and 47, right? We had a chunk of price action going on between there, right? So that range between 47 to 49. But it's like the Bears have a hard time pushing it below 50,000, bro. It's like a fight between 51 and 52 right now. So it's like if you can't even push it down below 50,000, like where are you gonna get 35,000 from, bro? Like where are you gonna get your $20,000 Bitcoin? Shit is not gonna happen, man.
I don't think we're seeing, and that's what I was thinking about earlier. I was like, just like everybody that what was it? Everything below, what did we get low on Hex this time? Was it 2 zeros and a 5? 2 zeros and a 3? What was the low on that? I guess it would be P Hex. E Hex went lower. But we never saw all that range down there. Everybody that bought below that was always in profit this whole time. And no matter how bad this got, Bitcoin's doing the same thing. We're right now at that same point with Pulse Chain. Pulse Chain and PulseX. You will not see these prices ever against once we leave these ranges.
Yeah. And guys, like we're all in pretty massive profits right now, bro. It's like we're all buying at the bottom.
Oh, for sure.
So like people have the recency bias, right? They saw that we were at 53,000 and we're back down to around 50 and 51,000. So they're like, oh shit, we're coming back down. Well, they don't realize that we were buying at $15,000 Bitcoin, $800 Ethereum. But we're in pretty good profits right now, guys. We're buying at like around what is it? 4 zeros and like a 3.8 on Pulse Chain. Like, guys, come on, man. Like, just be happy with the profits.
Oh yeah,
For sure.
We're still so early. It's people, and as time goes on, the more and more people that weren't through the bear, they get more neurotic. People don't realize it, but they become signals for everybody that's been around. So,
Paul,
I welcome it.
I got one more question for you here, Paul.
Yeah.
We covered it earlier, and hopefully you saw it then, which is the idea of a retracement for the halving. We previously talked about we're sitting at about 24% below all-time highs right now, and in the past for the halving, we've basically been anywhere between like 65% to 50% below all-time highs. So I know we're saying it's hard to break through 50,000 and maybe even like 49 or 47, but do you think there's a chance we get all the way down to maybe like 35?
Okay, so Jay was saying that the Bears are having a real tough time pushing this down. We know we've seen Bezos is having a massive sell-off, like 60 million over the past 30 days. Yeah. There's, if you saw, Tim Pool had a video a couple days ago out about somebody made a website tracking all the top traders, and you saw that?
Yep.
What was the website called?
It's there should be a Twitter account. What we're talking about here is basically a bot that watches a lot of the best traders in Congress who have performed the best, and
$150,000 salaries with $10 million, net worths leaving.
Yeah, on the conservative side.
Yeah.
But yeah, the video that Tim Pool put out was that one of the best traders in Congress recently put out about like 32 trades, 20, I think it was like 25, 29 of which were basically just sells. And then the rest of them were put options, which is the option that you put in if you think price is going down.
Coincidence.
Yeah,
everybody is pointing that this thing is going down, but I don't know if they're talking about crypto. If they're talking, I think Bitcoin is, but I don't know how much and what's the spike that's going to happen.
For sure. As far as crypto goes, here's what I'm seeing on my charts, which is that I think our local high of 2 days ago, which was about like 53,000 and change. I think that there's a decent potential for that to be the 60-day cycle high, because that happened on day 28. So if you get a perfect 60-day cycle, that's only 2 days early, which means that seems pretty regular to me. Whether or not we go all the way back down to the beginning of the cycle, which I personally think is unlikely, but as far as just the normal 60-day cycle goes, yeah, it would absolutely make sense if we saw a little bit of a retracement here. As far as the normal traditional markets go, we did set all-time highs at about $504 on the S&P 500, and right now we basically bounced off that resistance level twice, and now it looks like we might be going back down because we're sitting at about 497, and I think the 20-day moving average is about 494 right now. So when it comes to traditional markets, yeah, it's possible that it could just chop sideways for a bit, or maybe even have a bit of a retracement. But this is one of those things where I think back to the interview that Larry Fink of BlackRock did, which he called Bitcoin most recently a flight to quality, which in my mind, when I think about those two events together, is that if traditional markets are going down, then it seems like traditional finance might finally have picked up that cryptocurrency is an alternate option to park investment.
Yeah,
there's a massive split. Whether we want to recognize it or not, we can feel it. We see it happening. There's a split in the financial world happening right now. And who's going to try and pick up that reserve currency? I mean, obvious choice is probably maybe Bitcoin or a crypto, but I don't think they want that. So I don't know. This year's classic year of the dragon, right?
2024 is going to be wild,
so right
and we're off to a big start already. I'll say that much, because it's only like mid-February. Things are getting wild already.
Here's my thought process on like who's picking up what, right? So you have the large institutions, governments of the world. I think they realize that there's a very real possibility that anyone who's not banked can easily just pick up Bitcoin and start using it. And in fact, in a lot of other countries too, where they are banked, but their currency kind of sucks, they're going to go straight to Bitcoin as well. So now you've got the issue of like, hey, we have a competitor here. And I think for the first time ever, these central banks are looking at something like, oh, this is an actual competitor. And we're starting to see where it's becoming a competitor, right? It's like when your population is completely unarmed and then all of a sudden they're slowly picking up weapons. You know,
That's a good. That's a good comparison.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's happened throughout history, man. It's happened throughout history. And, you know, it's not like, okay, well, there's some people here, people there. We've arrested a bunch of them, some makers of the weapons, whatever. And all of a sudden you're like, whoa, why is the majority of people actually like armed, like poorly armed, but they actually have weapons? Now it's like, okay, now this could get out of hand really quickly. So what I've been saying since the beginning is you can't truly control Bitcoin because Bitcoin is decentralized. But what you can do, if something is wild and it just moves around like this, what can you do to control that? Build a fence around it. Once that fence is around it, it can do whatever it wants within that fence.
Yep, within the fence.
And that's what they're doing right now.
So when you're talking about that fence, what do you mean in particular? Are you saying like regulation, like exit taxes? What are you talking about here?
Okay, so we're
Real
looking
quick, you
at...
sound like you just created a vacuum.
I've been saying it for a while now. But so regulations is one way, right? That's a piece of a fence, you know, a side of a fence, right? Taxes, that'd be another way, right? Another side of the fence. How about this? Buying up the majority of the coin itself. That's another side of the fence. How about this one? Creating something where you own the coin and then you give out paper receipts. What does that sound like?
The ETFs.
Gold ETFs.
Yep.
Yes, but let's dig a little deeper into that. The ETFs, yes. What happened back in the you're gonna
War
have
bonds?
to remind me on this one, 1940s, 1930s?
The war bonds that they gave out for the gold after the gold is confiscated?
You got it. And they went and confiscated. They just took the gold because people realized that the dollar was worthless. And so it started with the American people. It started with the countries, right? So it started with the countries. The countries were buying back their gold from World War I or World War II. Correct me if I'm wrong. But they were buying back their gold with the world currency that was World War II. World currency that was the dollar. And so they were getting dollars, using those dollars to buy back their gold. So then they're like, well, now you can't do that, right? Taking the dollar off the gold standard. But also in the 20s, 30s, they also did that to the American people because the American people automatically saw that too. And they're like, well, I'm just going to keep buying gold with this American dollar of ours. And then they were like, no, you can't do that. And so then they went and confiscated all of the gold from the people illegally and put it away in Fort Knox and said, okay, here's the paper.
You know what's fantastic about Bitcoin though and crypto? You can't come and take my crypto, fam.
See now, here's the difference. So what's the difference between gold what's the difference between gold and what's the difference between Bitcoin right now? There's a big one. Anyone got an answer for this one?
Yeah,
it's easily transportable.
You don't need a password to spend gold.
Yeah.
There you go.
The password's up here. What are you going to do about it?
Yeah, what are you going to do about it,
in
man?
a boating accident.
Like, good luck trying to figure out my seed words, bro. Good luck.
Worst comes to
to
worst, you got to stop the whole world's network of gold dealers. I mean, just
true.
There's a route there to physical.
That's where you get the miners,
needs
right?
to develop a tornado
you got to get the
cash,
miners.
man. If Bitcoin can come up with some sort of tornado cash, which they can't, at least as of now, Bitcoin can come up with some sort of version of tornado cash. We got ZKZX on Pulse Chain. We've got Tornado Cash on Ethereum. We don't have anything on the Bitcoin network. I don't know how coding works. I don't know how any of that stuff works, but the Bitcoiner that is able to create an effective Bitcoin scrambler will be the man, the myth, the legend.
Well, I'll go this far. So you got a point to one of my last fences that it's like right now they're building the fence, but they haven't completed it yet, right?
Yep.
And there's a couple of issues. One of them is, the seed words, right? Oopsies, boating accident. We all know the joke. The other one is, well, what happens when we create better technology? What's the issue and how? Okay, so Bitcoin was created beginning of 2009. How long has it taken them to be like, maybe we should try to do something about this? 15 freaking years, 12 years technically, if you're looking at when they started, So they're not moving fast enough. Yep. And the technology that everybody is creating is moving so quickly that at this point, the only thing that I'm seeing that they're combating this with is creating their own systems that they tout as, you know, inventive and decentralized, but then it's, and here's the thing, like CBDC at this point has been talked about so much that I think they're starting to move away from that and kind of like Solana. No, this is Solana. It's really good. You know, it's one of the best altcoins that you need to be going into. But wait a minute, maybe it's a CBDC. We don't know.
You know,
I don't know if
to kind of go back to a point that Will made earlier about the Tornado Cash folks, right? On our Sunday episode, we went over the hearing, the stablecoin hearing from Congress. And one of the questions that one of the congressmen posed was that would any of the companies present at this hearing vote for regulation around applications like Tornado Cash, right? Would you vote for regulations banning the creation of those kinds of technologies? Went something along those lines. And the congressman kind of he thought he was smart, right? He kind of he thought he had a gotcha moment, because when he asked them to raise their hands, nobody raised their hands, and he said, let the record show none of the people here raised their hands. And despite how you might feel about decentralized entities, that's actually a really good sign for the space, because even though they are centralized entities and not a lot of folks like them, they still the fact that they didn't raise any of their hands means that they believe in the spirit of decentralized finance, right? Because they weren't going to vote for for regulation banning the creation of tools like Tornado Cash, which, as Will pointed out during that stream, why it was so important, right? Because privacy is one of the core tenets of blockchain, right? So I don't think we have to worry too much about the government creating. They can certainly start creating defense, right? But even if they ban privacy tokens like Monero, even if they arrest the Tornado Cash founders, this space is going to find a way, right? If they don't list privacy coins like Monero on exchanges, people are going to buy it on Dexes.
Hey, right. I got a deposit I need for ZKZX. You spot me?
I'm going to jump in on this one real quick. So, Will, I think you have a good point, which is things like Tornado Cash and Zcash. The idea is that you can basically just turn your money into a blender and mix it with a bunch of other people's money to the point that it's unrecognizable where it came from or whose is whose, but at the end of the day, you still have basically what you put in. And unfortunately, this is a bit of a double-edged sword when it comes to blockchain technology, which is that we'd love to tout that it is possible to be private under the pseudonym of a wallet address. However, once you start tying that wallet address to real like KYC things through Coinbase or Kraken or whatever, then that means that once you have that starting point, if you find someone that's dedicated enough and is willing to take the effort, they can track every transaction start to finish and find out that you, as this KYC customer, used Zcash or Tornado Cash. And the government is very, very efficient at a couple of things, a few of which are using violence and force to apply what they want and extract their money from you through the IRS or whatever means necessary. So unfortunately, that is the downfall of this. But the principles behind all these projects they make sense, and it seems like it's very needed. But until the government is not willing to pursue people over these kinds of projects, that's going to be a big hurdle to get across.
I think people find a way, Z, to be quite honest.
Okay.
I think the shenanigans in 2020 and what they're trying to, again, do now, right? Like we see the headlines. No matter what side of the aisle you fall in, I think you've seen the gross incompetency of the federal government, right? And so if they try to encroach on any more of our freedoms, I think enough people's eyes have been opened that like we're gonna find a way, right? So we're like they said in Jurassic Park, right? Life finds a way.
Life
finds a way.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that's going to come through again, like technological advances, right? As soon as they're like, "Oh, we have control of Bitcoin," I'm pretty sure by that point, just people in general have gone to the crypto space and been like, "Okay, well, we came out with all these other things that are more popular. Oh, well, it's Ethereum now. Okay, well, we got to take control of Ethereum." It's like, okay, well, we're moving on to the next one already. The next like 3. I think at this point, government is too slow.
Were any of you guys here in 2010, 2012 around Bitcoin then?
Nope.
Yeah.
I heard about Bitcoin, but I was like, what the hell is that, man?
Right. I was still thinking it was a physical coin. Like, how the fuck do I get this in my hand?
I just graduated high school, bro. I was too busy chasing girls, man.
Yeah, I understand.
We would all have Lambos if that were the case.
I know.
So
right?
the language then, more so than now, I know it sounds hard to believe, but was fear. And the everything projected at you was, if you buy Bitcoin, you're literally lighting your money on fire. You're pissing it away because the government is going to make it illegal. Little did we know, we were the laggards, that they couldn't. But that was the message back then: was don't worry. I mean, don't do that because it's just gonna fucking it's gonna be illegal. You're throwing your money away, and
that's called FUD, man.
It was back then. We didn't know that. But
hey, Hexagon Lost in Asia put up a really good comment in the chat. I think this is on the minds of everybody recently. So let's talk about this particular little thing about BankX and them setting up. I'm assuming they set up a single-sided liquidity on Uniswap. That's what I'm assuming. So they set up that sell wall there. So what are you guys' thoughts on this?
Jay, for the folks at home that don't understand what's going on, cough, me, can you give a little more explanation to this setup?
So instead of market dumping, right, the concern from a lot of folks in the community, right, the God will obviously granting this entity that much hex, and the worry was, well, are they going to just market sell the entire bag? Because a lot of folks, a lot of good actors within the hex community reached out to BankX and said, hey, we'd be more than happy to buy this over the counter from you guys so you don't hurt the price, right? And then you won't have to deal with the slippage. So win-win for both. They obviously denied that. So the theory up until now was that BankX was still going to market sell the entire bag or in smaller chunks over the course of whatever time period, right? Recently, they set up so this is my assumption, right? That they set up a single-sided liquidity for that eHex bag, right? So on V3, if you guys don't know what single-sided liquidity is, you basically so a normal liquidity pool, usually you would put a pair of 2 tokens, right? So let's say eHex and USDC, for example. For single-sided liquidity, you only set it up for 1 token, in this case Hex, right? And they set that liquidity between a range of prices. I believe, let's see, Hexagon Lost in Asia said the price range is between 1.2 and 2.1 Hex. That basically means that because they provided that liquidity between that price range, right? As the price goes up and people start buying those prices up, they're going to sell their Hex into those people's bags, right? Within that price range. So that means they're not just going to market sell the entire bag. What they provided is they put that in a liquidity pool. And once the price moves out of that price range, that means they would have sold out of their entire bag. Right? If you guys want more details on this, our good friend Crypto Sloth created a free liquidity course that explains a lot of this in very clear, concise manner and pretty good detail. Right? But them doing that is actually, Tam said, right, it's bullish for the price. At the very least, obviously we don't know them. We don't know those particular entities. So we can't really speak on, if they're good actors or bad actors. But them doing this at the very least is a sign of good faith, that they're not just going to market dump the price into oblivion, okay? Because that's a lot of hex that they're holding on to, right? And so them doing this means that they get to sell out of their position. They're not going to hurt the price. They're not going to have to pay the price on slippage, right? So it's like a win-win for both sides. So that's the short and sweet of it.
So as I don't entirely understand the entire story, but based on your explanation, what I'm hearing is that there is a group of people that have 350 million hex, and they have created what is effectively an artificial ceiling, sort of at the 1 to 2.1 cent price range on EHEX, which is that once it starts creeping up to those prices, that's when they are going to continually add sell pressure. And what that's going to do is it's going to rebalance that the spreadsheet, so to speak, which is that even if more people keep buying, this means more liquidity is available to purchase out, which means that it's going to get sticky around this point, right?
Well, it's not going to provide sell pressure, Z. So when they provide single-sided liquidity like that, so let's say EHEX is at 1.2 cents, and then people are excited about the market, they keep buying up the price, right?
Yeah.
Because BankX provided that liquidity between that range, they're slowly going to move out of that pool, right? So the liquidity that they provided that range is going to be sold sold to the people buying up that price until price moves past the range that they've set, in which case they would have sold out entirely out of their position. So it doesn't necessarily create sell pressure because it exists in the pool. They're just providing liquidity for the people to use that want to buy and sell at those prices, right? As opposed to like regular liquidity, where you're providing liquidity across from 0 to infinity, right? They're providing liquidity at a very specific range. So like, let's say they only provided liquidity at 1.5 cents. Once price moves past 1.5 cents, they would have sold out of their entire position. I think they're just betting that, it's a good move on their end. They're providing within a range so that they're getting a good average price for their hex at that range, right? So it's a way to dollar cost average out of the market without having to create a market buy, without having to hurt the price by market selling that large amount, and without having to hurt without having to hurt your price, your gains through slippage. Right. So they're not adding like any sell pressure, but they are selling, like quote unquote, selling out of their position by providing liquidity at that range. So no sell pressure from BankX by providing liquidity.
Yep. That's one of the best ways to exit the market.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's one of those advanced strategies that is really useful once you start playing with a lot of money, because again, you're not going to be able to market sell without either hurting the project that you like or just getting absolutely wrecked by slippage, right? Especially if you're dealing with a token like EHEX right now that has very small amount of liquidity. It doesn't take a lot to move the price up or down. So that's an intelligent thing to do on their end, right? And good for the community as a whole, good for the price as a whole. So
absolutely. And if you guys want to learn more about liquidity, you guys can go check out Crypto Sloth 369. He does a whole course on liquidity providing. If you guys are NFT owners for any of the Crypto Sloth DDS NFTs, he is providing special videos for only people who own those NFTs. I highly suggest you go to his Twitter and you check out how you can view those videos. It explains. Well, I'm not gonna give away any of his alpha, but buy a Sloth NFT if you don't have one, if you want to know what I'm talking about. And if you don't want to do that, then go ahead and find his YouTube channel and find his find all the videos that he has put out that talks about how you guys can use V3 liquidity, how to do V2 liquidity, all sorts of liquidity providing questions. Sloth answers on his channel over there. So big shout out to our friend Crypto Sloth. Yo, bro. I don't know if you're watching this live or on the replay, but hey, cheers to you, mate.
All you gotta say is
Sloth. He's a yo guy.
Just say Hedron 3 times, he'll come.
Yep, Hedron 3 times.
That's so true.
Yeah, I do want to kick this final topic over to our lovely bar hoppers and community members. So, Niles and Paul, what do you guys think about this story? Is this a good strategy? What does this say about kind of like the sentiment in the community? What do you think on this?
Yeah, I mean,
go for it.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely mutually beneficial. I think, like Jay was saying, it's like you can't really say whether or not these they're good or bad actors, but at least they're not holding the community hostage and just saying, "Oh, hey, we're gonna market dump this thing on your guys' heads. Beware." But I believe that they still have about 350 million EHEX still sitting around that at some point they're probably going to be looking to unload as well. So
That's good. Paul, what you got?
You got to remember, markets, no matter if you're looking at S&P or you're looking all the way down on EHEX, they are painting a picture of the temperature of that time frame of what everybody as a community is feeling. And that's all the market is painting for you. And so just like you can see whenever Godwell gifts them that EHEX, or sorry, gifts them, what do you do? I don't remember, sacrifice or whatever. Anyways, when they got it and they painted themselves as bad actors, the price chart reflected that. They start canceling out their Twitter, canceling all their references, all their communication, everything. They didn't want to hear it. And so everybody's like, all right, well, here comes a 500 million market sell. This thing's going to, do the ultimate death spike. And so far they haven't done that, but the price chart for months there reflected that everybody's fearful of it. And so that's why it dipped so hard. And that's also why it retraced so hard up, gave Alex the Whale the opportunity to gather up and do what he did last fall for us. So they're playing better. It's just going to be a bigger elephant for us to eat through before we move on. But the liquidity bonding of everything else will drag it up. Even if it's over on the ETH chain, part of it's over on Pulse chain, it will drag up through because, then it creates an arbitrage opportunity on the bridge and people go back and forth. So if you got enough, it is there. So regardless, it's just, it's not a bad thing. I think it's actually bullish. I think it's good because you get to see us progressing past this point in the timeline of EHEX and the story of EHEX. This is just a blip on the radar.
Yeah, Paul, I'd have to agree with you on that one. I think this is technically a bullish thing because what this has been ever since the fat finger of the God whale, right, has happened. What this has been kind of a gun to the community head. And it's like, okay, what's going to happen here? Now with this happening, at least there's certainty. People know what is off of the FUD, the FUD. What is one of them? Uncertainty, right? It's because people don't know. So now they have to speculate. And if people have to speculate and they're scared about something, more than likely they're going to go to whatever's safest. Safe is going to be to not buying whatever, right? So, or at least wait for a dip. So with this being certainty now, what is happening is that they're like, okay, well, we know that this is not going to actually harm the price too much, and it's not going to be a God candle to the bottom, right? As soon as I buy, because that's the number one thing with crypto people is like every single time I go and I buy, it goes straight red and it goes down to zero, right? That's how it works with everybody. I mean, especially you, Niles. I know you're really good at that. So, with that being said, though, this is certainty where it's like it's not going straight red, so therefore I can continue to buy, and so people are just going to keep buying it up.
Perfect. All right. Any final thoughts on the matter?
I think that it's great that people have an opportunity to buy for longer because, man, if I was getting into Hex and I wanted to get it at rock bottom low prices, BankX has given us an opportunity. So just some thoughts from my side of the peanut gallery.
That's fair. I got to say, Paul, I think you had two great points there. The first of which is that the current price is just the temperature or the feeling of the market at any given moment. And then the other one was that the liquidity bonding could theoretically just pull its way through this area of resistance, if you want to call it, which is that assuming that we're still going to have a Bitcoin 4-year cycle and everything else is going to go up significantly. Yeah, you have a great point, which is that you don't even need massive buy pressure on this singular item or chain to get through this, which is that there is a natural way to get through this eventually. So
you have enough buys on everything else that's RH. The AMM will chew through that naturally. So it may take longer, but it'll get there.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, I've got Sami's post. Go ahead. Sorry, Z. I was just going to say,
one of the nice things about RHSM and Hexkins is that I think there's very few of us that are very much all in on one coin. I think everybody has a little bit of everything. So what you might see end up happening is that all those coins are going to kind of be tied together. No one is going to get left behind, in my opinion. So yeah, like you said, with the liquidity bonding through the entirety of the market, but also just in the RH ecosystem itself, I think they'll keep each other in check pretty decently.
Niles, yeah, I was just going to throw out there that while we were talking about it, I pulled up Sami's post because I remember him speaking about it in a video I saw, And he mentioned here that it's going to take about 6 million USD to chew through that 350 million.
In the grand scheme of things, that's not that much money. I'll put it this way. I think on a stream 2 Sundays ago, I pulled up a number which was that the entirety of all the retirements accounts in the United States alone makes up about $32 trillion. So if even 1% of that is put into cryptocurrency through all the managed ETFs, that's still like $320 billion, which is absolutely massive. So
see, here's the add on to that to the institutions with their multi-trillions, right?
Yep, there you go.
Each. So if you're adding all that, it's the reason why people right now are saying that we should be hitting anywhere from like 8 trillion to possibly 12 trillion by the top of the bowl for the entirety of crypto.
Absolutely, it's entirely.
I mean, the big linchpin is what they're trying to get the entirety of the market cap for all of crypto over gold, right? Ain't that the gold? The goal for next year to bypass gold. Gold is a 10 trillion or 12 trillion market cap, I think.
That's a good story. I'd buy onto that.
$13.7 trillion.
There we go. So that's the goal to get everything past that. It's not going to stay past that, but just, you got to get there and we're going to retrace back. Yeah. Yeah. So, you saw what we did off of, what was it? $3.1 million came across, and look at what that did to our system in January. I mean, it is just, we're that far depressed that it only took $3.1 million, which isn't nothing.
In the grand scheme of things, like for an individual, is it a lot of money? Yes, absolutely. I'm not going to downplay that. However, understanding the reality of this space that we occupy, there are many people out there that have that kind of capital available to make moves that large.
Oh,
yes.
Yeah.
True. All right, gentlemen, we are approaching the end of our stream, so I do want to give first word to our lovely guests about where we can find you and what you got going on. So up first, Niles, brother, what's going on?
You guys can
Instagram.
Yeah, you guys can check me out at Sounds by Sino on Instagram. If you don't already know, I do music production. You will find absolutely nothing crypto related. Do not come there if you want to make money. If you want to jam out to some good tunes, pull up.
Beautiful. Love to hear it. All right, Paul, where can the people find you?
Paul Saxwin on Twitter, and just catch me around. You can DM me. I may not respond. Most things I'd rather keep in public. So just makes things more even that way.
Excellent. Gentlemen, thank you both so much for coming on. Go ahead and stick around and we can have a little green screen chat or a green room chat after this as well. But again, thanks for coming on and helping us give value to the audience. Mr. Nate, where can the people find you?
Well, you can find me on the Ascending Man YouTube. I do lots of shows trying to talk about cool and interesting things. However, my first love is with the DJ Roundtable. I love you guys. But so I'm kind of putting it off a little bit because the past 2 weeks, it's like, oh, this is going to be a normal week for us, which is, it's basically every other day we're doing something, right? But things keep popping up where it's literally been every day, if not multiple times a day at this point. We have a big expansion, a big growth going on with our channel currently. So we're there on top of like the actual shows. There's a lot of behind the scenes things that are going on as well, just trying to prepare things and do lots of stuff. So I am going to be putting it on the Ascending Man on pause for now until everything gets straightened out to the point where we're a little more streamlined. And then, I'll be getting back on with the very in-depth, interesting talks that I love to do. But other than that, I'm having a good old time over here.
Beautiful. Nate's not wrong. We got a lot of stuff going on behind the scenes, and we're preparing for a big launch coming up. So that will be announced at a later date. Other than that, Mrs. Producer, what do you have for the people?
Hey, so we've got, like everybody has already said, kind of a lot of stuff coming up here. First, I want to say Jay had to take a step back. He's got some family matters going on that he's got to take care of. So everybody send him your best wishes and all of your good vibes if you can. But as he would always say, thank you, everybody, for being here. We know time is your most valuable asset, and we do appreciate you spending any of that with us. It's very much appreciated. We seriously mean that. It's not just something that we say. It's not just Jay's, pitch line over there. We all feel this way. The DJ Roundtable would not be here without you guys. So don't forget that. With that aside, we have book club coming up this Friday. Zenith's going to tell you more about that. Then on Sunday, we've got a regularly scheduled Sunday episode, which we will develop more because we try to keep the news relevant. So it's not, ready by like Friday because something might happen Saturday that we want to talk about on Sunday. So that one is going to be whatever crypto news we have going on. And then next Wednesday, we've got, Will put this in the chat already, Funding Jim coming on. Gary, I forgot the last name, but Will can go ahead and fill you guys in
Gary
a little bit more on
Woods,
that.
Funding Jim.
Gary was, there we go. And then, the other thing that I wanted to mention, I know at the beginning of this episode, we did mention something about shrapnel, that we were going to talk about that. We didn't end up getting to it because the conversation kind of went, different directions, which is fine. But we are going to be getting more into GameFi. That's in the works right now. That's one of the big things that we're working on. So look forward to that. I'm not sure when it's going to start. We don't have an exact time, but it'll be pretty soon. And that is all I've got. Will, what do you got?
Aloha. So I have a couple things going on. Later on this excuse me. My goodness. Later on this Thursday, my brother and I will be doing another stream on the Brothers Two of Them podcast. I'm going to be also appearing on the book club, as you have just mentioned. It's going on Friday. We're going to be doing book club every Friday, by the way. That is the upgrade to book clubs. I'm going to be hosting one a week, and then Zenith is going to be hosting one a week. So we'll be able to swap back and forth. So that way we can double the amount of information that we are receiving, as well as doubling the amount of information that you guys as the audience are receiving. So this is our new book club pace. So we'll see how it goes as far as ability to absorb. I know that it's going to be difficult, but for the book, I'll let Zenith cover the one that we're going to be doing for this week, the one that's coming up just in a couple days. Oh, look at that! Think and Grow Rich. It's right there, right where you're pointing. The one that we're going to be covering for the next Friday, just a little over a week from today, is going to be $100 million offers by Alex Hormozy. It takes about 3 or 4 hours to listen to on Audible, and it is just absolutely chock-a-block full of great information. I had read it a little bit, and then Zenith, and then I got bored and I put it down. And then Zenith is the one who actually got me to reread it again. And so I reread it and I was like, holy shit, bro, this stuff is actually phenomenal. So, yeah, $100 million offers, super great book for anyone who's into sales or into learning how to scale up their small business, or just basically dealing with anybody ever in any realm of life. You guys can find me at linktree/Will Stevenson. That has an amalgamation of all of my social media. It has my Facebook, my YouTube, my Twitter, my Instagram, my Telegram handle. It has a whole bunch of like the work that I've done in the past, and potentially in the future. And I've also added a little slot down there for collaborations as well as merch. So if you guys want to buy Bad Idea t-shirts, I don't receive any commission from anything Bad Idea t-shirt because I get them custom made. So you guys can find the link there to buy your own little Bad Idea t-shirts if so you wish. And then you can also see some other collaborations of other podcasts that I've done with other folks. On as I had mentioned before, I'm going to be on the Vets in Crypto podcast on Monday. So you guys can find them at Vets in Crypto on Telegram, Twitter, as well as YouTube. And fuck, man, I know that's a lot of stuff going on. And also join t.me/Hex Meetup. You know, that's where you guys can go to find other Hexicans. If you want to like, I don't know, just meet other cool crypto people, then go to this little Telegram. It has a quick little walkthrough, a little start here tab. You just read through it and it tells you how to interact with the chat, how to meet other people, how to start little meetups in your area. It's basically just decentralized meetups. That way you guys don't have to wait for like big influencers like RG3 and Wild SJ to come to your area, or, you know, Crypto Spargbrook or KSB TV, the guys over in Europe and everything. You don't have to wait for them to start a meetup. You guys can do meetups on your own. You basically just say, hey, I'm going to be here doing this cool thing at this cool time, right? Like I just posted in the chat like, hey guys, I'm going to this bar in Dallas, and like a fuck ton of people showed up. There was like 5 of us there. It was awesome. We had all sorts of fun and stuff. But yeah, go check out that
You have to be a
Telegram.
Hexican though.
No, you don't have to be a Hexican. I made it for Hexicans, but you don't have to be a Hexican, right? Like I like Hexicans, but like really like the thing that I love about our community is that we are just so open and welcoming to everybody. So like if you're a Cardano guy, if you're a Bitcoin person, if you're I don't know, a Zen Maxi or a Titan X bro, or if you like Pepe or whatever the fuck, if you like spaghetti, you can come into our Hex Telegram.
We got
meetup
questions.
Exactly, bro. So like we'll ask you all day long about everything having to do with spaghetti. But
if you
like
trade the
spaghetti.
2-minute charts though, I don't know if we can do that.
Oh, and I also put up a link in the Telegram chat. So by the way, guys, join our Telegram. You can find it way down there in the corner, right?
Mr. Paul Sachs, can you give us a downwards point?
Yes, downwards point.
That's
yeah, there
right.
We go.
There you go. Paul
enough.
hooked us up.
But yeah, join the GGen Roundtable Telegram. You guys can also type in bit.ly/degenerate_roundtable in your URL. That will take you straight to our Telegram, or you can click the link in the description below. It'll take you straight into our Telegram, where you can find the link that I've created to get a framed version of the TA that I did on one of our streams long ago. And yeah, it costs like, I don't know, 20 or 50 bucks. I don't know. I didn't actually go through with buying one, but I took the time to go and open that up in like Canvas Pro or something. So anyways, guys, join the DGen Roundtable. We're nothing but a bunch of degenerates that like drink Tapatio and hang out and talk shit. And oh, also, I promised you guys I would tell you the story of why I'm wearing a suit.
I was gonna bring it up. You got it.
So the reason that I'm
Y'all are
wearing
in for a
this
treat.
fantastic suit, right, is because I was planning on streaming the DGen Roundtable. Oh, well, I wasn't going to host it, but I was going to be live in a strip club in Dallas, and we were going to be doing
A gentleman's club.
Yes,
YouTube
a gentleman's club,
space.
right? So shout out to Silver City Cabaret in Dallas. My homeboy from the Marine Corps had invited me to come and hang out with him over at the place, and he was like, "Bro, you got to wear a suit. You got to have fun. It's going to be great." And I'm like, "Bro, I'm doing a crypto stream tomorrow. I can't do this." He called me at like 11 p.m. last night, and I was like, "Dude, I'm doing
a
crypto
live stream
man."
and onboard. Please do onboarding at a strip club.
That's a tough one. That's a tough one.
That sounds like a top signal, but
I mean, so that's
a
what
top signal for sure.
Yeah, top signal for sure. Right? Well, topless signal. But like that was the original plan for tonight. Is I was gonna meet up with an old Marine Corps bro who happens to be in Dallas, and he was like, "Yo, bro, come to this spot." And I'm like, "Nah, dude, I gotta stream." He was like, "Bro, you can fucking stream. I used to be an ETH miner. I'll talk shit about crypto all day long with you on this podcast." And I was like, "Okay, bro, sounds like a fucking plan. You got me." But things happened, and like there was like logistical problems on his end, and his work didn't let him off in time. So anyways, I had to cut it short. And so anyways, you guys get to see me in a suit. So fantastic stuff. No strip club streaming for today. But hey, we had a great time. It was awesome. Yeah. So anyways, thanks for all of you who stuck around to hear that silly story of how your boy almost went to a strip club to stream the DGen Roundtable.
Bro, you have a different shirt on. That's the big thing.
A different shirt on? I'm not wearing a shirt.
Yes,
this is a
it's not the
button-up.
bad idea t-shirt.
No, it's
Yeah, that's
different. Dude, we've been doing this for like what 7-8 straight months. I don't think I've ever seen you in anything else other than those stupid shirts of yours.
I'm impressed you have sleeves tonight. I'm just impressed they're sleeves.
That's true. Paul's right. Paul is correct on this one.
Yep, about half of my t-shirts.
Probably has the button down with bad idea on it.
That would be nice if I had a bad idea button down. I don't know how that would work. It's not really good to have logos on button ups, but that I could probably find something to work. I was telling some of my boys one day after I get crypto rich, I want to buy so Bad Idea t-shirts. That's an actual company that exists on the internet. One of my goals one day is to buy that company so that I can be the owner of Bad Idea t-shirts. And then they sell a whole bunch of meme t-shirts. And the one that I wear was their original logo, like back in, I don't know, like 2015 or whatever, when I first started buying the shirts. And they eventually disbanded the logo and they rebranded the whole website. But I stuck and I kept buying the shirts and I get them custom made and everything now. But my goal one day is to buy that company. So Bad Idea t-shirts, if you guys are watching, send me an email or go to my link tree and reach out to me and tell me what your price is. And that way, when I become a rich crypto millionaire, I want to buy your company from you. So that way I can sell all the bad idea t-shirts.
Yo,
but anyways, enough
that's
for me,
wild.
guys. I've been speaking for way too long. Let's fucking wrap this show up, bro.
Hell of a wrap, Will. I gotta say,
Yeah.
in the time, I did want to give a shout out to a few folks that stumbled in. I thought they were not going to get much, but they got that entirety of the Will rant. So, Funkmaster Hex, I see you, brother. We also got Herc, the Herc, our brother over in another continent. I'll say that much. Good to see you, boys. Thanks for catching this. And the beautiful irony is that when we asked people earlier for what they thought Will was dressed up for the suit for, a lot of them were like 50% correct. I think midget strippers was technically the correct answer that we got. So,
What can I say?
I mean, we didn't look up the place you were going.
The proper term is spinner.
Ah, thank you, Niles. There we go. Anyways, folks, like Will talked about earlier, I'm covering Think and Grow Rich this Friday on Book Club, and he is going to be covering $100 million offers next Friday, the one after that. And if you have even more time to plan ahead, I'm going to be in Las Vegas for the Crypto Mindset Meetup Live and Pulse Chain Tour live in Las Vegas, Wednesday through Friday, with a recovery brunch on Saturday that I am very much looking forward to. So if you want to catch me, bend my ear, or hang out with me, and I think Tam Tam and the rest of Axis Gang is also going to be out there. I believe we're staying at the Link. Unfortunately, all the group rates for the rooms have been closed, but you can still show up, grab tickets, and support the gang, support everybody that's putting stuff on there. And there's also the Pitch Fest going on. As always, though, over here at DGen Roundtable, Jay is not here. You can find him on Twitter at P90_Hex, by the way. But like Jay says, we do thank you for your time.
Really quick, it's _P90 Hex.
Thank you, Mrs.
I
Producer.
got one thing.
I got the
add.
link.
Just one small thing to add for everybody. The captain
got,
is going live basically right now. Captain is going live just about right now. RG3. As soon as you're done here, I need you guys to go over there and support him because he's I would say he's probably one of the best mentors we've had.
Yeah,
Tell him we sent you.
RG3 is hands down one of the best mentors that we've had in this space.
That is by far the most interesting launch pad that I've heard out of the entire crypto industry. What Captain's focusing on. So if you haven't heard about it, go over there for sure.
Paul, what are they talking about tonight? Is it
Forge? The Forge.
Ah, excellent. I know a lot of us over
Yeah,
here at the team
talking about the Forge.
Yeah, I know a lot of us like the Forge guys and have very
Things
much interest
happening.
in their
We will
project.
be talking more Thursday.
For sure. Anyways, go check out RG3's stream. Besides, even if we're not hosting it, it's still
There's
good
the link
stuff
to
over
their
there.
stream right there in the chats.
Beautiful. Also, if you're looking for a good stream, RG3 did interview Ben Armstrong. Go catch that one. It's very good. I will say that much. Anyways, I am Zenith. You can find me on Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube at the meme page that I run, which is Hexco Space Force, or my personal page for business reach outs or whatever at Zenith DI on Twitter and Instagram. With that being said, thank you so much for showing up. We appreciate your time, and we will catch you guys next time.